Chapter 5994. Two figures flew across the void. They were Lin Xian and Xiaojiu. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. The mission this time wasn't easy. Even though he was strong now, ordinary martial emperors were no match for him. But this time he had to face the Nine Nether. Moreover, there were two missions this time. The first was to rescue Xia Xingqian. The second was to help Xiaojiu break through and become a great emperor. Because Xiaojiu was extraordinary, his name wasn't given casually. It had a special meaning. Xiaojiu was related to the Nine Nether. Xiaojiu's physique was also related to the Nine Nether. It was the same for Lin Xian. He had learned from his father that it was the legendary Nine Underworld body, and it was the key to opening the Nine Nether. Of course, this secret was only known by Xia family, Lin Zhan, and the people of the God Realm. Supreme Hall and the people of the Permitha realm didn't know. If they knew, they would go crazy to snatch Xiaojiu. Although Xiaojiu's current strength was strong, it wasn't enough to open the Nine Nether. He had to become a great emperor. In other words, this time, Xiaojiu had to break through in hell and become a great emperor. That would require sufficient resources, and all of this was related to the Xia family. Lin Xian pondered. What should he do next? He already had an idea. He would go to the 15th level of hell to save someone. According to Xiaojiu, he had nothing to do with Xia family for many years. Back then, he was a member of Xia family. But later, he walked out of hell and came to the universe outside. He revealed his brilliance, becoming a new force to be reckoned with, sweeping through all sides, reaching an incomparably powerful state. But he was restricted by the heavenly Tao and couldn't become a great emperor. Later, he even went back to Xia family to ask for help. But Xia family didn't care. At that time, Xia families had met him personally. He said in a deep voice, "Now isn't the right time. You don't have to become a great emperor. Stay in the family and seal yourself in a deep sleep. When the time is right, we will wake you up and let you become a great emperor." In fact, the people of the Xia clan had even personally taken action to suppress Xiaojiu. At that time, Xiaojiu was in high spirits and was already standing at the peak. He was naturally unwilling to be manipulated by others and become a puppet. Therefore, after a great battle, he left with injuries. The Xia family had tried to pursue them, but to no avail. Later on, the timing was not right, so the Xia family could not hide anymore. This matter gradually faded away. Now that the time was about to come, the Xia family had to make a move. They didn't immediately look for Xiaojiu. Instead, he made a move and took Xiaojiu's granddaughter away. Clearly, this was a warning to Xiaojiu. No matter what your current status is, I'm not going to let you off. What was his cultivation? All of them had to obediently return to their families and bow their heads in apology. He was really arrogant and domineering. Xiaojiu clenched his fists at the thought of this. However, Lin Xian said, "Don't worry. If the Xia family dares to hurt Sister Xingqian, I will flatten them. Right now, you don't know much about the Xia clan. Let's find someone in hell and ask around." He would only take action after he understood the situation. After hearing this, Xiaojiu nodded. He knew that he couldn't act rashly in this matter. After arriving in hell, Lin Xian went directly to the 15th level of hell. This was because he had an agreement with someone. Back then, when he was fighting against the Wraith Path, the Black Eye had summoned an illusion. That was a soul in hell, known as the Ghost God. It was abnormally powerful. Back then, Lin Xian had an agreement with the Ghost God. When he obtained the Rinnegan in the future, he would go to the 15th level of hell to save the other party. Now he came to hell again and obtained the Rinnegan. If he saved the other party, he could also ask about the Xia family situation. White Bone Mountain. There was a mountain on the 15th level of hell. It was very tall and had a cold aura. These were the bones of countless experts. There were humans, demonic beasts, and demons. There were experts from all the 10,000 ancient races. At this moment, two figures landed. It was Lin Xian and Xiaojiu. "Xiaojiu, looked at the white bone mountain and exclaimed, "What a terrifying cold aura!" Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes and said, "Yes, this is the aura. It should be here. Let's go and open the white bone mountain. Let's see what's inside." Although the white bone mountain was cold, there were many people around it. These were all cultivators with cold auras. The martial artists in the infernal realm all cultivated the power of the heart. Therefore, the White Bone Mountain was a holy land for cultivation, not to mention the surroundings of White Bone Mountain. Even on White Bone Mountain, there were experts cultivating there, absorbing the terrifying power of the laws. At this moment, the young people beside him heard Lin Xian's words and immediately laughed disdainfully. Where did this bumpkin come from? Open the White Bone Mountain. Do you know what kind of place this is? With your strength, it's difficult to climb the mountain. Open the White Bone Mountain. Ouch, I'm dying of laughter. The people who spoke looked young and wore luxurious clothes. They were surrounded by the laws of the Great Path. Evidently, they were part of their identities. In fact, they even had some monstrous beasts as their pets. These demonic beasts were extremely powerful. When the others saw this group of young people, they immediately lowered their heads and made way. In their hearts, they were afraid of such people. They couldn't provoke them. Lin Xian glanced at these people and directly ignored them. Others were afraid, but he didn't care. In his eyes, these people were no different from ants. Once they angered him, he could pinch them to death with a stretch of his hand. Seeing Lin Xian ignore them, one of the young people in armor frowned. "I'm talking to you. Can't you hear me? What do you think this White Bone Mountain is? Hurry up and admit your mistake. Otherwise, the experts on the White Bone Mountain will kill you." Xia Jiuyou frowned slightly. How dare a young man be so presumptuous in front of them? "I think I've seen you before. Did you appear in the Luo family back then?" At this moment, a woman in green looked at Lin Xian and said, "Oh, you've seen me before?" Lin Xian was also surprised. "Do you have anything to do with the Luo family?" When he came to Earth Prison to look for the wordless sky steel, he did go to the Luo family. "No." The woman in green shook her head. "I just passed by the Luo family. I heard that there was a genius in the Luo family who was a disciple of Emperor Ming. Later, I investigated and found that he was just an ordinary disciple, so I didn't pay much attention to him." After hearing this, the others immediately looked disdainful. So that's how it is. Compared with them, the Luo family is thousands of miles away. This person was a friend of the Luo family. In front of them, he was just an ant. He couldn't be compared with them at all. Thinking of this, the man in armor looked even more disdainful. How dare a few ants ignore them? They really don't know what's good for them. The woman in green also said, "Hurry up and leave. The White Bone Mountain is not a place you can come to. Take advantage of the fact that the experts on the mountain haven't gotten angry yet. Otherwise, I'm afraid you will die. You will really die here." Chapter 5995. The woman in green from before was called Yin Feifei, and the arrogant man in armor was called Xiang Yin. He was from the Hell Elephant clan. The Hell Elephant clan was also a big clan on the 15th level of Hell. They were known for their extraordinary strength. Xiang Yin was used to being arrogant. Now that he saw Lin Xian and Yin Feifei, he was very unfamiliar with them. Moreover, there were no masters with them. After hearing Yin Feifei's words, he felt that these two people were just ants, so he didn't take them seriously at all. As for the other young men, they were also disciples of large families. Their faces were also filled with arrogance. At this time, Xiang Yin walked out again and said, "Today I'm in a good mood. I'll teach you a lesson. This White Bone Mountain is not a place where you can behave atrociously. Here, even a dragon has to coil up, and even a tiger has to lie down. Not to mention you. Hurry up and leave." With that, he sneered and turned to leave. Lin Xian's face darkened. "This guy is too full of himself, isn't he? Even though I ignored him. He ignored him, because the other party was not worthy of being his opponent. However, the other party was so provocative. He could only teach the other party a lesson. Hearing Lin Xian's cold snort, the people in front also stopped. One of them laughed and said, "What, you're not convinced? Unfortunately, it's useless. You're too weak. This is a world where strength is respected. It's useless even if you're not convinced." This was like young Master Yin. However, the top geniuses of the Halcyon clan are not people you can provoke. In their opinion, Lin Xian and the others would definitely be scared out of their wits. However, Lin Xian said coldly, "I don't care if you're an hell elephant or a hell panther. Get over here. I didn't want to attack at first, but you've gone too far. Kneel on the ground, kowtow 10 times, and give me 30 slaps and I'll let you leave. Otherwise, I'll cripple you." He said, "What? Kneel and kowtow?" The people opposite were all stunned, thinking that there was something wrong with their ears. Who were they? They were all geniuses of big clans. They were high and mighty, and could do whatever they wanted here, especially Xiang Yin, who was a super genius of the Halcyon clan. Who dared to provoke him? In addition, the other women also sneered. The woman in green, Yin Feifei, sighed. These people thought that they were still in the Luo family. In this place, if one was arrogant without strength, they would definitely die. However, since she had met Lin Xian once, she wanted to advise Lin Xian. Before she could speak, Xiang Yin was already furious. He snorted coldly. "Are you talking to me, your young master? Looks like you really don't know what's good for you. This young master's good mood is gone. I plan to capture you and torture you to death." After saying that, he threw out a punch. The surrounding people exclaimed. Someone sneered, "This kid is dead for sure." Xiang Yan's strength is terrifying. Even a great sage would die without a doubt. Booming, earth-shattering sound rang out, and the smiles on the faces of those people disappeared. They realized that the situation ahead had changed. It was different from what they had imagined. Xiang Yun retreated. One of his arms had turned into a bloody mess. He fell to the ground and screamed, "Ah, damn it, you dare to hurt me." He was incomparably miserable. What's going on? Xiang Yin was injured. This was impossible, right? Could it be that this kid was an expert? Everyone saw Lin Xian point his finger. Immediately, Xiang Yan's other arm also cracked and turned into a bloody mist. Everyone gasped. What kind of strength was this? He waved his finger lightly and seriously injured Xiang Yin. Could it be that he was a quasi-emperor? These people were crazy. After all, Xiang Yan's strength was one of the top among the great sages, unless he met a quasi-emperor. However, they had never heard of such a young quasi-emperor. Lin Xian's finger was still waving. One of his legs was broken, and so was the other. More and more bones in Xiang Yan's body were broken. Still not willing to kowtow? Then I'll send you to hell. Lin Xian stared at the other party's head. Xiang Yin was frightened. He hurriedly knelt on the ground and said, "Don't do it. I'll kowtow." He began to kowtow. The scene was terrifyingly quiet. Only the sound of kowtowing could be heard. At that moment, regardless of whether it was Yin Feifei or the other proud celestial maidens and young masters, they were all stunned. In fact, their bodies even began to tremble. "You're dead for sure. The Xiang family won't forgive you." Among them, a man wearing a battle robe exclaimed. As soon as he finished speaking, he was sent flying by a slap. Immediately, his body shattered and turned into a bloody mist. Even his soul was seriously injured. Everyone realized that Lin Xian had only turned his gaze, and with just one look he had beaten them to such a state. This person was too terrifying. He was definitely a quasi-emperor. Who else wants to challenge me? Lin Xian said indifferently with his hands behind his back. Those geniuses on the other side were so scared that their scalps went numb. They didn't dare to say anything anymore. At this moment, a white-haired woman said, "Although you are powerful and have the cultivation base of a quasi-emperor, you are still very powerful. However, you still got into trouble. The hellish race had more than one quasi-emperor. There were even more terrifying existences. Yes, the others also said, we are no match for you, but the families behind us are not something you can challenge. Our family has countless experts. Xiang Yin seemed to have come back to his senses. He gritted his teeth and said, you hurt me this time. Our hellish race will never let you go. The experts in our family are 100 times more powerful than you. Oh, really? Are the experts in your family very powerful? Now I'll show my strength and see if they are as powerful as me. After saying that, Lin Xian walked forward. He stared at the white bone mountain. Then he shouted coldly. A sword came. Countless laws condensed in the air, forming a sword of laws, which was held by Lin Xian. Then he slashed forward with the sword. Damn, what does this kid want to do? God, he wants to split the White Bone Mountain. Is he crazy? The White Bone Mountain was so terrifying. It was a holy land for cultivation. By doing this, he was making an enemy of the entire hell. Countless exclamations sounded. In the distance on the White Bone Mountain, those experts who were cultivating also opened their eyes one after another. They roared, who is it? Why is he so reckless? These experts charged over angrily. It's over. This kid is dead for sure. Xiang Yin and the others thought. However, Lin Xian looked calm. Beside him, Xiajiao also sighed. How can these people be? How can they be a match for Lin Xian? The sword of laws in the sky fell mercilessly. Sensing the sword chi, those experts no longer dared to be arrogant. They were terrified. No, Run, this sword chi is not something we can resist. Which expert is it? Senior, we were wrong. Some people were terrified, and some had already knelt on the ground and kowtowed before they could run. In the next moment, they were sent flying by the sword chi. Boom! The sword light burst out, enveloping the world. The White Bone Mountain in front shook violently. Then, under everyone's shocked gaze, it split in half. What? He actually split the White Bone Mountain. The white-haired woman was shocked, the man in the battle robe was stunned, and Xiang Yin and the others almost fainted. As for the other experts, they all knelt on the ground in fear. Senior, who are you? Senior, please forgive us for offending you. The holy land of cultivation in their eyes was so easily shattered in the hands of the other party. This was the arrival of a supreme existence. Chapter 5996. However, the expressions of some cultivators changed drastically. Humph, he's too arrogant. No one is allowed to behave atrociously in the White Bone Mountain. Another old man also said, that's right. Legend has it that many terrifying existences are suppressed under the White Bone Mountain. Once these people come out, they will sweep across the world. This person has disturbed the supreme existence of the White Bone Mountain. He will die without a doubt. In the next moment, countless roars came from the cracked White Bone Mountain. Who split the White Bone Mountain? Who is disturbing our rest? Countless crazy roars came, causing the scalps of the surrounding people to go numb. Some of the old men looked ferocious. Look, he's looking for trouble. He will die without a doubt. Boom! At the same time, a huge monster appeared in the White Bone Mountain. This colossus was extremely terrifying. Its pitch-black body carried surging power and terrifying killing intent that swept across the sky. The laws on it seemed to penetrate the world. At this moment, everyone's soul trembled. What was that? This was a supreme existence of hell. Everyone looked up at the sky and saw the black figure spread its wings. The black wings covered the sky and covered the earth, enveloping a part of the sky. The light in the entire space dimmed in an instant. Everyone was scared out of their wits. At this moment, Yin Feifei said, "This is the aura of our eagle tribe. Could it be that he's one of our powerhouses?" Hearing this, the white-haired woman, Xiang Tian, and the others all turned to look at her. What did you say? Your Yin tribe has such a powerhouse? Impossible. I've never heard of him. No. Yin Feifei said, our eagle tribe does have a supreme powerhouse. He's an ancestor of our eagle tribe. His name is Ing Wufeng. What? Ing Wufeng? When they heard this, the surrounding people were stunned. They had heard of this name before, but it was a figure from hundreds of thousands of years ago. He was in existence in the myths and legends. According to the legends, that person disappeared later. Back then, he was an expert who swept across hell. After he disappeared, many families secretly heaved a sigh of relief. They didn't expect him to appear again. Moreover, he appeared in the White Bone Mountain. Could it be that the reason why he disappeared back then was because he was suppressed under the White Bone Mountain? What happened 700,000 years ago? What kind of powerhouse could suppress Ing Wufeng? Everyone was stunned. At the same time, Xiang Fei laughed excitedly. This kid is dead for sure. He's offended Senior Ing Wufeng. He's dead for sure. He looked at Lin Xian smugly. Kid, so what if you're strong? No matter how strong you are, you're not Senior Ing Wufeng's match. The experts in the distance were also discussing spiritedly. However, Yin Feifei said, Young master, kneel down and kowtow to my family's patriarch. I will plead for you. Perhaps you can live. If I kneel down and kowtow to him, will he be able to bear it? Lin Xian said disdainfully as he looked at the huge figure. Everyone was stunned. This guy was looking down on Yin Wufeng. Heavens, where did his courage come from? Even Yin Feifei was furious. You can't afford to offend our patriarch. You're going to die for being so stubborn. Who was it? The mountain of white bones was split open. In the sky, the cold voice sounded again. Xian Yin pointed at Lin Xian and said, Senior, it's him. It's him who split open the mountain of white bones. Senior, if you want to blame someone, blame him alone. This kid deserves to die. Yes, it's me. Lin Xian said lightly. He didn't panic at all. In the sky, the huge figure lowered its head and looked down at all living beings. It was as if it was looking at ants. However, when it saw Lin Xian, its pupils suddenly constricted. In the next moment, the huge figure bowed deeply to Lin Xian. Greetings, young master. What's going on? Xiang Yin was dumbfounded. The white-haired woman and the others were trembling in fear. Even Yin Feifei was stunned. Their family's patriarch from 700,000 years ago was bowing to a young man. The experts in the distance roared crazily, Impossible! My eyes are playing tricks on me. Damn it, I'm not dreaming, am I? Isn't Ing Wufeng said to be arrogant and unruly? Why would he bow to a young man? Who on earth was this young man? Even Xiajiao was surprised. He could feel the terror of the huge figure in front of him, but he didn't expect it to be so polite to Lin Xian. What had happened between the two of them? Was this the person Lin Xian wanted to save? He was indeed very strong. Looking ahead, Lin Xian said lightly, I'm not too late, am I? Not at all, not at all. I'm already very grateful that you can come. Ing Wufeng's voice was full of excitement, although the two of them had an agreement before. So what if the other party didn't come? He couldn't do anything to the other party. Senior, please spare my life. Xiang Yin was so scared that he hurriedly knelt down and begged for mercy. Even the terrifying Ing Wufeng had bowed. How could he still be arrogant? The white-haired woman, the man in battle robes, and the others were also scared pale. Ing Wufeng lowered his head and said with a frown, What's going on? How dare you offend Lin Gongzi? Do you want to die? A terrifying aura descended. Xiang Yin and the others went crazy and were about to despair. At this time, Yin Feifei also knelt down and said, Greetings, ancestor. Ing Wufeng said, I feel the bloodline of my family in you. Are you from the Eagle tribe? That's right. Yin Feifei nodded. At the same time, she recounted what had happened earlier. Hearing this, Ing Wufeng snorted coldly. Anyone who dares to offend Lin Gongzi will die without a doubt. He slapped down with his palm, and a burst of aura directly tore Xiangyan to pieces. The surrounding people were dumbfounded. A top genius of the Xiang family died. Just like that? Ing Wufing snorted. What can a mere hell elephant tribe do to me? When I get out, if he dares to be arrogant, I'll destroy his hell elephant tribe. A loud voice came. At the same time, he spread his wings and wanted to leave. However, there was a huge chain below that locked him. He was sealed. The legend was true. Ing Wufing had been sealed. Could it be that he could leave? Someone shook his head. It's useless. He hasn't left for 700,000 years. How can he leave now? Please save me, young master. I'll definitely repay you. Ing Wufing said excitedly. Lin Xian nodded. Remember what you said. I do have something that I need you to do. Young master, just ask. I'll do anything you want. Ing Wufing had been waiting for this day for many years. These chains weren't ordinary chains. Swords couldn't hurt them, and laws couldn't destroy them. Only the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation could help him leave. And Lin Xian was his hope. Lin Xian walked over. He said to Yin Fei Fei and the others, leave. You can't bear the power that's coming. Ing Wufing also roared. Those who have nothing to do with it, get out of here! Fei Fei and the others quickly left. The other strong masters still wanted to watch, but in the next moment they fled in fear. Because Lin Xian had opened the Rinnegan, a transcendent power erupted, and everyone's souls seemed to be sucked in. They fled, frantically. Only Xiajuo was still standing there. Xiajuo was also shocked. How terrifying. This is a complete Rinnegan, right? The power of the 6 paths of reincarnation was indeed strong. Lin Xian's Rinnegan had already erupted. The 6 paths of reincarnation turned into a world. It enveloped Ing Wufing. Chapter 5997. The aura of the 6 paths of reincarnation appeared in front of him. It was extremely terrifying. It was as if it wanted to destroy the entire world. The surrounding people were all frightened. Was this the strength of that young man? Especially Yin Fei Fei and the others. Their faces were pale. Now that they thought about it, Xiangyan's death was not unjust. Even if Ing Wufing did not make a move, this young man alone was enough to kill Xiang Fei 100 times. Even if all of them combined, they would probably not be able to resist one of his fingers. Who exactly was this young man? Between heaven and earth, there was a rumble, and the light of the 6 paths of reincarnation disappeared. In the next moment, a black shadow soared into the sky, spreading its wings and sweeping across the world like a dark cloud. At the same time, a roar was heard. I'm finally out, ha 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 ha. His voice shattered heaven and earth. In the next moment, the behemoth disappeared and turned into a middle-aged man in black. This man was tall and had a sharp face. His eyes were cold and sharp like a blade. He descended like a peerless overlord. In the next moment, he bowed to Lin Xian again. Thank you, young master, for saving my life. I, Yin Wufing, am extremely grateful. It's nothing. It's a piece of cake for me. By the way, I have to ask you to do something for me. What is it? Please tell me, young master. Ing Wufing said. He was extremely shocked. The other party was much stronger than the last time he saw him. The 6 paths of reincarnation were too perfect. The other party had already condensed a complete Rinnegan. Such a person's future was limitless. He might even reach the level of an earth immortal. Therefore, he naturally did not dare to be presumptuous. 2 things. First, help me investigate the situation of the Xia family. The more detailed, the better. Second, I need resources. I need countless resources. Enough to make a 10-crown king become a great emperor. Is young master going to break through and become an earth immortal? Yin Wufing was surprised. 10-crown king was already so terrifying. If he became a great emperor, his strength would increase tremendously. Lin Xian did not say anything about this. It was not him who became a great emperor, but Xiajiu. Of course, he did not tell Yin Wufeng. However, Yin Wufeng frowned. The Xia family? Even though he had been sealed for 700,000 years. He also knew how terrifying the Xia family was. Is there a problem? Lin Xian asked. To be honest with young master, both of these things are difficult. First, let's talk about the resources needed to become a martial emperor. Under normal circumstances, only one person could become a great emperor in an era, which meant that every 10,000 years, the resources he absorbed were all the essence of the universe. After he became a great emperor, no one else would be able to become a great emperor within 10,000 years. Of course, things were different now. Now that the immortal earth descended, the 9 heavens, 10 earths appeared. Therefore, his chances of becoming a great emperor were many times higher than before. However, it was not easy to become a great emperor. I can only say that I've tried my best to collect as much as I can, but I'm not sure how much I can collect in the end. There was no harm in that. Lin Xian nodded. Before he came here, a few martial monarchs had told him the details of achieving the martial monarch realm. Not only him, but Xiajiu was also aware of this. Therefore, they were not worried about this. As long as the time was right, the power of all the worlds in the universe would pour into the body of the person who had become a martial emperor. What Lin Xian wanted to do was to accumulate power for Xiajiu to reach that time. Opposite him, Yin Wufeng said, "As for the Xia family, they are very scary. They are not on the 15th level of hell, but the 16th. He is a mystery to us. I can't guarantee how much information I can collect." Seeing the other party, he wanted to say something, but stopped. Lin Xian said, "What else?" "Just say it." Yin Wufeng nodded. "Young master, I don't know. What's the use of you looking for information about the Xia family? However, I still want to say that you better not be enemies with the Xia family. You don't have to think too much about this. This is between me and the Xia family. When the time comes, you don't need to care or help. Hurry up and do it." "I know." Yin Wufeng nodded. "Follow me back to the family first." "Okay." Lin Xian and Xiajiu followed. The two of them rose into the air. "Wait, forefather, I'm going home too." At this moment, Yin Feifei also flew over from behind. She said, "In the past 10,000 years, there have been some changes in the family. It's not where it used to be. I'll take you there." The place where the Eagle clan was located had indeed changed from 700,000 years ago. This made Yin Wufeng frown. "What's going on?" "The original place is better," Yin Feifei said. "Although our Eagle clan is on the 4th or 5th level, we are also a top family. However, in recent years, we have been weaker than some other families. Now, the most powerful family is the Nether clan. In addition, the 9-headed snake clan and the All-Devil clan are also very powerful. We are ranked very low among the top families. Those people are really useless. After I left, didn't a single strong person appear?" Yin Wufeng was exasperated. Yin Feifei said, "Not really. A group of top masters also appeared in our family. However, other families have more. However, the situation has changed now. Forefather, you are back. Our family's strength will change dramatically. Don't worry, I will let the Eagle clan stand at the top again." Yin Wufeng sped up. Before long, they arrived at the Eagle clan. When the news was sent back, the people of the Eagle tribe were all stunned. At first, they didn't believe it. What kind of joke is this? Yin Wufeng was from 700,000 years ago. How could he still be alive? However, when they saw Yin Wufeng, they were all stunned. It really was the forefather. Heavens, the forefather's portrait was exactly the same as the one hanging in the ancestral hall. Impossible, unless he revealed his true form. Yin Wufeng snorted. "Stupid things, are you doubting me? Fine, I'll show you." He rose into the air and transformed into a terrifying black eagle. He spread his wings, and a terrifying aura swept out. At this moment, the Eagle clan members all knelt down in excitement. It's the forefather, really is the forefather. Greetings, forefather. They knelt on the ground. In the distant hall, an old man walked out. He was the current patriarch of the Eagle clan and was very powerful. He was an extremely terrifying existence among the 9 crown kings. It was said that he was not far from becoming a great emperor. Apart from him, there were also a few supreme elders and core elders. They had all rushed over. Looking at Ingwufing in the sky, they also bowed deeply. Greetings, forefather. Your strength is not bad. Seeing the power of the Eagle clan's clan chief, Ingwufing nodded his head in satisfaction. Then he landed beside Lin Xian and said, "This is Lin Gongzi, my benefactor. Come and greet him. This is Elder Xia, Lin Gongzi's friend." "Thank you, Lin Gongzi." Some of the younger disciples bowed one after another. As for those utmost exalted elders, the clan chief and the others, they stood there motionlessly. What kind of joke was this? Bowing to a young man? Ingwufing frowned when he saw this scene. What? Have you become more and more unruly in the years I've been away? Are you not going to bow to my benefactor? He exuded a terrifying aura. Xia Juyo was expressionless. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and said, "Forget it. You just need to do what I told you to do." Lin Xian knew that he wasn't the only one who had come to hell, but also the Paragon Temple. He didn't want to be too ostentatious. After all, he didn't want to attract his enemies at this time. At least, he had to save Xia Xingchen first. Chapter 5998. He refused to greet the people of his family. Ingwufing also shook his head and sighed. You guys really missed out on a great opportunity. If you could catch Lin Gongzi's attention and follow him, you would benefit immensely in your life. Follow him? Just because of this young man? The experts of the Eagle tribe looked disdainful. Lin Xian also shook his head. He said no need. They are not qualified to follow me. All right, I'm tired. Not qualified. This time, the young geniuses of the Eagle tribe were also angry. This guy was too arrogant. Their Eagle clan was one of the top clans here. Only a few clans could contend against them. Only a few people could defeat them, and the others had to submit to them. But now he said that they were not qualified. Who did this kid think he was? A great emperor? Humph, how is that possible? Men, take this young master to rest, the leader of the Eagle tribe said. Immediately, 2 young men walked over and said, "Come with me." Their attitude was really cold. He arranged for Lin Xian and Xiajiu to stay in a remote hall. The young men then left. After they walked out, they said, "Humph, what's there to be proud of? What can a young genius do, no matter how powerful he is? That's right, he really thinks he's a great emperor. How dare he say that we are not qualified? I think the great ancestor has been deceived by him. We have to let the elders persuade the great ancestor. This kid is obviously a liar." They went back and reported the news to the elders. The elders also frowned. They said, "Don't worry, we will tell the great ancestor when we see him later." In another majestic hall, a group of elders and experts, as well as the clan leader, were all standing there. In front of them was Ingwufing. At this moment, the elders were also asking Ingwufing about the situation over the years. At this moment, an elder said, "Great ancestor, the young man you brought is really too arrogant. He actually said that we are not qualified." "That's right. Who is he? Is he very powerful? Why are we afraid of him? Could it be that our clan can't beat him?" At this moment, the patriarch of the Eagle tribe also spoke. He said, "I don't like this young man either. If the old ancestor is truly indebted to him, we will give him a batch of natural treasures and then let him leave. Let's not interact with each other anymore. That's right. Tell this brat to leave as soon as possible." The surrounding people were also discussing spiritedly. Ing Wufing sighed when he saw this. He waved his hand and set up a spell formation to cover the entire hall. Then he said, "Do you all think the same way?" He looked to the Supreme Elders. The other Grand Elders nodded in agreement. Ing Wufing said, "You guys are too ignorant. You're lucky you didn't show it. Otherwise, not only would the benefits be gone, it might even lead to the destruction of the clan. That brat?" The surrounding elders were filled with disdain. The Eagle Clan leader also said, "Ancestor, tell us, who is he?" "I've never heard of any young man who is so powerful. Have you really never heard of it? That clan has really declined in recent years. Don't you know? Not long ago, there was a great battle in the deity ground. A young man killed a great emperor." "What? Killing a great emperor? That's impossible, right?" The surrounding people were all stunned. Even the Supreme Elder's expressions changed greatly. As for the Eagle Clan's clan leader, he sucked in a breath of cold air. He seemed to have thought of something, but he wasn't sure. One of the elders said, "That's impossible, right?" Great emperors were the strongest of an era. Although many great emperors had awakened, far more than before, they wouldn't die so easily. That's right. Great emperors were so powerful that a single drop of their blood could crush 10,000 worlds. How could they die so easily? Not to mention, they were killed by a young man. Did that young man have 3 heads and 6 arms? They all knew about the martial monarchs. After all, they had spent countless years building up their reputation. In every era, a great emperor would descend to rule the universe and sweep through the ages. However, as for the other young chosen from the hell of hell, that was not necessarily the case. Not to mention, they were on the 15th level of hell. Perhaps they were more concerned about the lower levels and the 9 Serenities realm. There were a few other young geniuses in the Great Hall. They were the future hope of the clan. One of the geniuses said, "Venerable Ancestor, are you saying that the young man who killed the great emperor is the same kid from today?" As soon as those words were spoken, the others also widened their eyes and looked at Ing Wufing. Ing Wufing said, "Of course it's him. Why else would I be so respectful of him? You people are not even comparable to me, a sealed guy." Ing Wufing was furious. Although he was sealed, he could still move around a little. For example, he could be summoned by others or trade with other experts on the Skeleton Mountain for information and so on. Therefore, Ing Wufing knew about the major events that were happening outside. But not many people in the clan seemed to know about it. That's impossible, right? That young man looks about the same age as me. How can he be so powerful? That's right, he killed a great emperor. Could it be that he was also a great emperor? Such a young great emperor, which era is he from? They discussed fervently. Even now, they still couldn't believe it. A venerated elder said, "If you say he defeated a great emperor, that's still possible. After all, there are strong and weak great emperors. But it's really too difficult to kill a great emperor. It has to be more than 10 times the power. Only then can he kill a great emperor. After all, a great emperor's methods were too strong. Even a wisp of his soul could escape and be reborn." "How could he die?" Ing Wufing snorted, "Idiot. He didn't just kill one great emperor. He's already killed several great emperors. He even defeated a few martial monarchs on his own in the higher heavens. Don't you know about it?" Qin Nan said, "He'd killed more than one great emperor. He defeated several great emperors." He'd smiled proudly. These things were like a sudden clap of thunder that struck the hearts of these people. They were all dumbfounded. How was this possible? This time, the elites of the Eagle tribe all went crazy. The kid they thought was arrogant actually had such power. Who was he? Ing Wufing said, "When you see him, you'd better treat him with the same respect as you treat me. Otherwise, I won't be able to save you. All right, you can all leave. I'm tired." Ing Wufing waved his hand. Everyone bowed and left. After leaving the hall, they still couldn't believe it. Some elders looked at the leader and said, "Leader, is there really such a powerful young man?" The leader took a deep breath. There's one, but is it this kid? I don't know. A name appeared in the leader's mind. This name was too famous. But would he come here? As for the other young geniuses, they didn't believe it. Several geniuses gathered around a handsome man. They said, Brotheringly, is what the ancestors said true? That guy was so powerful. Ing Li was the #1 genius of the Eagle tribe. When he heard this, his lips curled up. The ancestor has been sealed for so many years. How could he know about the outside world? Therefore, he was sure that he had been deceived. Chapter 5999. Coincidentally, in 2 days, there will be a gathering of the younger generation. At that time, we will invite this kid to spar with him. Does he have the strength or not? We'll know once we try. If he really has the ability, then fine. If he doesn't, I'll let him make a fool of himself in front of everyone. The corners of Ing Li's mouth curled up into a smile. The others also smiled. Yes, that's right. Let's do that. On the other side, Lin Xian sent a voice transmission to Ing Wufeng, asking him to quickly inquire about the Xiao family. Also, start preparing and gathering resources. Also, he asked him to give him a map of the 15th level of hell and the distribution of the family forces. Wufeng hurriedly went to get the map and quickly handed it to Lin Xian. As for the other 2 matters, Ing Wufeng found the patriarch and the 3 grand elders. When the patriarch heard about the Xiao family, his expression changed. Ancestor, you know that the Xiao family is not an existence we can provoke. You don't have to worry about this. I don't want to provoke them. I just need to collect information about them for the past 10,000 years. Also, take an inventory of our family's resources and the approximate amount of resources of the other sects and families. Give me a report. I got it. The patriarch frowned. He really didn't know what Ing Wufeng wanted to do. On the other side, after Lin Xian received the map, he opened it and looked. Other than the Eagle family, there were a few other families. They were all top families. They almost controlled most of the resources of the 15th level of hell. For example, the Hydra family, the Chiefing family, the Morrow family, and the Serene Bamboo family. Among them, the strongest was the Serene family. Although the Eagle family was also strong, they were at the bottom of these sections. The Serene family? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. This was the #1 family. If he suppressed it and subdued the other families, he would be able to gather a batch of resources. These resources, together with some of the power in the sword world, would be given to Xia Jiu. Let Xia Jiu reach a critical point. Once he reached the critical point of becoming an emperor, there was no need to care about what happened next. He could let Xia Jiu go to the universe and absorb the power of the myriad worlds. He would come to the universe and become an emperor. What kind of impact would Xia Jiu be the first to become an emperor? Lin Xian didn't know. Perhaps no one in this universe could become the second great emperor. Perhaps because of the arrival of the celestial ground, someone could break through and become the second great emperor. However, Lin Xian was not worried. This was because Lin Xian had the ancient lands. He could attain the martial emperor realm in the ancient lands. Furthermore, in every place in the 9 heavens and 10 earths, one could achieve the martial monarch realm. In fact, it was even possible for more than one person to become a martial emperor. Otherwise, Permitha wouldn't have been able to absorb so many great emperors. Lin Xian possessed the ancient lands. Therefore, in the future, if Qingchang, Yenruyu, and the others wanted to become martial monarchs, they could come to his ancient lands. Furthermore, Lin Zhan and the others were also attacking the land of heaven. Once they took down Shangqing City, others could even become martial emperors in the Azure Land. It would take some time to gather information. Lin Xian prepared to go out for a stroll. Xia Jiu, on the other hand, stayed in the hall. He needed to calm himself down. There were many things that he needed to do. He couldn't make any mistakes. On this day, a few geniuses from the Eagle tribe came over and invited Lin Xian to attend a small gathering. Brother Lin, You're also a young genius. Why don't you come with us? All right. Lin Xian nodded. After all, he had nothing better to do. Please. The few of them invited Lin Xian away. Looking at the others' back, the corners of their mouths curled up into a smile. Kid, you'll find out soon enough that this gathering won't be so easy. The Lotus Platform was a very famous place in the 15th level of Hell. There were pavilions and halls all over the Lotus Platform. All kinds of geniuses, experts, and fairies could be seen everywhere. Any one of them could shock a region. The Lotus Platform was surrounded by black water. Ordinary experts would instantly turn into bones if they entered the black water. Only warships made of special metals could survive. At this moment, a warship flew towards the Lotus Platform. There were a few people standing on the warship. The leader was Ing Li. Ing Li stood with his hands behind his back. Wherever he went, many people greeted him. Greetings, Prince Ing Li. This is the #1 genius of the Eagle Tribe. I'm really lucky to be able to meet you today. Countless exclamations sounded. Ing Li's lips curled up, his eyes filled with arrogance. This was the true identity that he should have. He didn't believe that there was a young man more powerful than him. When he came to the Lotus Platform, a middle-aged man hurried over with his entourage. Prince Ing Li, you haven't been here for some time. Please come in. Ing Li nodded. This time, I've brought a guest from my family. You have to treat him well. Don't worry, I understand. The middle-aged man smiled. Everyone, please come in. He led the group of people to a magnificent palace hall. Then he clapped his hands, and all kinds of beauties immediately walked over to him. Some of them were from the human tribe, some were from the demon tribe, and some were led by him. In total, there were over 100 of them. The middle-aged man smiled and said, These are beauties from the 100 clans. Each one is different. Prince Ing Li nodded with satisfaction. He looked at Lin Xian and said, Which one do you like? Choose yourself. This is a rare opportunity. He meant that if he missed this opportunity, Lin Xian wouldn't be able to see the beauties of the 100 clans. Lin Xian was expressionless. He even looked down on everyone. How could these 100 clans be called beauties? Compared to those he had seen before, they were far inferior. Lin Xian had Morong Qingqing, Yan Ruyu, Shen Jingqiu, and Shueqi. Every single one of them was like a celestial maiden from the 9 heavens, causing the myriad worlds to exclaim in admiration. They were the real peerless fairies. The people in front of him couldn't be compared to them. You don't like them? Ing Li was stunned. The geniuses of the Eagle Tribe around him sneered. Why are you pretending? They didn't believe that Lin Xian wasn't tempted. Lin Xian picked up a glass of wine, took a sip, and said indifferently, Do whatever you want. Don't worry about me. He sat there with a calm expression, as if he made people forget his existence. In fact, if a real peerless master was here, he would find that Lin Xian had merged with heaven and earth. His realm had reached an unfathomable level. Good boy, you can endure it. But later, I'll let you show your true colors. Ing Li snorted. He waved his hand and said, Fairies, come here. The fairies of the 100 clans all went over. Lin Xian was drinking alone. When he was bored, he formed a seal with his palm and sent out hundreds of doppelgangers in the Sword World to dig for the treasures in the Sword World. He didn't know this time. What could he dig out? After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, someone else came in from outside. These people were wearing different clothes, and their auras were equally powerful. They were here. The eyes of the Eagle Tribe lit up. The people who came were the same as them. They were all from the top families. There were the Hydra clan, the Crimson Wind clan, and the All Devil clan. As for those who had masters, they didn't seem to have come. The show was about to begin. After the top geniuses of the other families arrived, they looked at Ing Li and the others. They said, Ing Li, what do you mean by taking the lead in organizing this party? Do you want to fight with me one-on-one? I remember that last time. You seemed to have lost to me, right? A man with 9 heads said. He was from the Hydra clan. Legend had it that the Hydra clan was very terrifying. They had 9 lives and were extremely powerful. Chapter 6000. Seeing the young master of the Hydra tribe, Eagle Lee snorted coldly. I was careless last time, and this time I've cultivated well. I won't lose to you again. Really? Then let's have a competition. The young master of the Hydra tribe was very arrogant. He directly jumped over, blooming with a powerful aura. Behind him, the phantom of the Hydra tribe appeared. It was like an ancient, demonic beast that could sweep everything away. Feeling this aura, the people of the Eagle tribe all turned pale and couldn't help but take a few steps back. Even Eagle Lee gasped as if he was facing a great enemy. The only one who remained calm was Lin Xian, who continued to sit there as if nothing had happened. He didn't seem to care about anything. Seeing the scene, many people were surprised. Who is this? Eagle Lee also frowned. Damn kid, why are you pretending? Looking around, he smiled and said, Let me introduce you. This is Lin Gongzi, a distinguished guest of our Eagle tribe. Lin Gongzi? I've never heard of him. Is he very powerful? The people around also frowned. Eagle Lee smiled and said, Of course he's powerful. Even the elders of our Eagle tribe are in awe of him. I don't believe it. The young master of the Hydra tribe walked over and said, Let me see if you really have the ability. An even more terrifying aura bloomed from his body. Seeing this scene, Eagle Lee smiled. His move was called killing with a borrowed knife. He used the power of the Hydra tribe to fight Lin Xian. In this battle, Lin Xian lost or was injured. It had nothing to do with him. Even if the ancestor blamed him, he wouldn't be blamed. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but admire himself secretly. Lin Xian glanced at him, shook his head slightly and said, You want to fight with me? You don't deserve it. What? The people around were stunned. Don't deserve it? Is this kid looking down on the young master of the Hydra tribe? Are you kidding me? The young master of the Hydra tribe was the first among the younger generation of the Hydra tribe. On the 15th floor of hell, he was ranked 3rd among the younger generation. How terrifying was his strength! How dare he say he didn't deserve it? This brat was too arrogant. The people of the Eagle clan were also stunned. This guy was really good at pretending. However, departing Eagle sneered inwardly, Keep acting. The more you act now, the more miserable you'll be later. He knew that even he wasn't Hydra's opponent. How could this kid defeat him? Kid, I think you don't have the guts. 9-headed Hydra was also furious. Flames of anger danced in his eyes. No one had ever dared to underestimate him. Lin Xian shook his head. You really don't deserve it. To be honest, I'm quite disappointed. I thought there would be a genius that would make me happy this time, but I didn't expect it to happen. But now, it seems that all of you are really too ordinary. Too ordinary? Everyone went crazy. They were all furious. This time, even Ying Li and the others were incomparably furious. They were all gnashing their teeth. Was the other party looking down on all of them? What kind of joke was this? This time, they had gathered a group of top-notch geniuses. You're too arrogant. Brat, I want to fight you one-on-one. If you have the guts, come out, and I'll slap you to death. The people of the Red Wind clan were also angry. The people of the Luo clan even snorted coldly. At this moment, a delicate voice sounded. If he doesn't deserve it, what about me? Everyone made way, and a figure walked over. It was a woman in a long green dress. Her face was extremely beautiful, far beyond the beauty of the 100 clans. The people around exclaimed, Princess Luo. She actually came too. God, it was a blessing of 3 lifetimes to see Princess Luo. She was even more terrifying than young Master Hydra. She was the 2nd-ranked genius on the 15th floor of hell. Her appearance was unparalleled in the world. If they could get her favor, their lives would be worth it. The eyes of countless geniuses turned red. Even departing Eagle was no exception. This was the goal of countless geniuses. Lin Xian glanced at him and said, Your strength is indeed stronger than his, but you still don't deserve it." Then he put down his wine glass and sighed again. No one on the 15th floor of hell could fight. F***CK. Everyone couldn't stand it anymore. This time, not only did he despise the younger generation, but he also despised the entire 15th floor of hell. None of them could fight. You are too good at bragging. If any of the strong masters of these families jumped out, they would slap you to death. The people in the distance also exclaimed, "Who is this kid? He is too good at pretending." And the geniuses of the families around them were angry. "Kid, I want you to kneel down and apologize. You will die a horrible death." Even Princess Luo was so angry that her face turned pale and her body trembled. As the second-ranked genius, she was one of the top few in the clan. In fact, even the elders might not necessarily be a match for her. The only ones who could defeat her were the patriarch and a few of the grand elders. But now, she was actually being looked down upon by someone. "I'll give you a chance to fight with me. I'll give you a 3-move handicap, and I'll let you know how powerful I am." Lin Xian stood up and shook his head. "This gathering is really boring. It's a waste of my time. You guys can have fun by yourselves." Then he turned around and left. The people around were all stunned. Ying Li and the others were also dumbfounded. Did he just leave without a fight? His plan to kill with a borrowed knife failed. Damn it, this kid is too cunning. At this moment, a genius of the Hydra clan snorted coldly. "What do you mean he doesn't deserve it? I think he doesn't dare to, right?" "That's right, he put himself on a high pedestal and then took the opportunity to escape. He is a coward." "Yes, that's right, he is a coward." The people of the Red Wind clan and the Moro clan also snorted. The Hydra clan stared at Ying Li and said, "Who the hell is he? You didn't bring him here to tease us, did you?" Many people looked at Ying Li angrily. Ying Li was speechless. Why did he feel like he had lifted a rock and smashed it on his own foot? He said, "He is not a member of our family. He is really just a guest. I didn't know he was so arrogant. If you want to teach him a lesson, you don't have to give me face. Just do it." "No need." Princess Moro withdrew her hand and shook her head. "He is a coward. I don't think he has any strength." The Hydra clan young master also snorted. "I don't think he deserves it. He doesn't deserve to be my opponent. Let's fight on our own. Ying Li, you will be my opponent." Then they began to fight on their own to rank the geniuses again. Lin Xian left the hall and walked out. He looked up at the sky and sighed. "What is Tao?" Boom! Boom! As his voice came out, thunder suddenly sounded in the sky. 5 thunderbolts danced wildly in the void as if they were going to destroy everything. At this moment, all the people on the 15th level of hell felt it. They looked up in horror. What happened? The sky was clear for thousands of miles, but there was thunder. Who was challenging the heavenly Tao? In the hall, Princess Moro, the Hydra clan young master, Ying Li and the others were all stunned. They felt that the thunderbolts in the sky seemed to be able to destroy them. Someone dared to challenge the heavenly Tao. Who was it? He was too reckless. As for those clans, supreme elders, and clan chiefs, they were all astonished. Who on earth came from the 15th level of hell? Chapter 6001. This kind of strange phenomenon shocked countless people. Just who was it? The thunderbolts in the sky were even angrier. Who dared to challenge the heavenly path? They were about to land. However, Lin Xian snorted and said, "Die." With a soft shout, the thunderbolts in the sky disappeared. Only a black hole was floating. Everyone went crazy. The patriarch of the Eagle clan, the Grand Elder, the 9-headed Snake clan, the peerless overlord. The top overlord of the Moro clan. They were dumbfounded. A voice could destroy the heavenly thunder. What kind of expert was he? Could he be a legendary figure? He was too powerful. Ying Li, the 9-headed young master, Princess Moro, and the others were even more shocked. This was a peerless expert who could destroy the heavenly thunder with a single word. This was the goal in their hearts, the pursuit of their lives. Where was such an expert? They could only be met by chance, but not sought. Only 2 people knew who was the culprit. One was Ing Wufeng. He looked at the sky and exclaimed, "Why did Lin Gongzi say that?" The other was Xiajiao. Xiajiao also looked up at the sky and sighed. These days the Otherworld Heavenly King is in charge. It seems that the Otherworld Heavenly King wants to rule the universe, the deity ground and all the 9 heavens and 10 lands. It was very ambitious. Lin Xian, him, and the people of the God realm were unwilling to lower their heads. Therefore, there was bound to be an earth-shattering battle in the future. The phenomenon in the sky hadn't disappeared yet. A pair of eyes appeared in the black hole. The eyes were like the eyes of a god. Although they were illusory, they emitted an extremely terrifying aura. He lowered his gaze and covered the entire 15th level of hell. What kind of gaze was that? Was a god looking down on them? At this moment, everyone in the 15th level of hell trembled in fear. The patriarch and grand elder of the Eagle clan, the peerless overlords of the 9-headed snake clan, and the top overlords of the other clans were all shocked. They were all stunned. Ing Li, the 9-headed snake clan, young Master Mo Luo, and the others were so scared that their faces turned pale. Under such a gaze, they simply did not have the strength to resist. It was as if a single gaze could exterminate all of them. In a pitch-black mountain range, there were countless black palaces. A figure dressed in black walked out. They were from the Fiend clan. One of them was a woman who was looking up at the sky. She was the number 1 fairy of the Fiend clan. She exclaimed, "Oh no, those eyes are so scary. A peerless master from the outside world has come. Could it be that he has come for the 9 serenities? But why? He came to the 15th floor?" She couldn't make the decision on this matter. She entered the black hall and looked at a statue. She said, "Clan leader, there is a vision of heaven and earth." The eyes of a peerless master are probing the 15th layer of hell. I wonder which force he is from. The statue spoke in a low voice. Go and check who it is." They must have come for the 9th serenity. However, as far as I know, the people from the other side and the Paragon halls went straight to the 17th floor. They didn't even come to the 16th floor. Why are they? Who would go to the 15th floor? I understand. I'll look into it. Yu Xianzi turned and left. This illusory, I was naturally Lin Xian's Rinnegan. He used his gaze to scan the entire 15th floor of hell. Then he shook his head slightly and looked away. As expected, no one on the 15th floor of hell was his match. At the same time, he didn't find anyone from the other side or the Paragon halls. They probably didn't come to the 15th floor of hell. They must have gone to the other floors. Whatever, he had to carry out his plan first. After all, the floor below was the 9th serenities. They had to open it. No matter how early the others went, it would be useless. At the same time, he also discovered a pitch-black mountain when he was investigating earlier. There was a dark aura there. It should be the Fiend clan, one of the top clans. In other words, they were the number 1 clan of the 15th floor of hell. Over there seemed to be a mysterious power that blocked his gaze. Interesting. It seemed that the Fiend clan was not simple. Lin Xian looked away and returned to the hall of the Eagle clan. At this time, the other clans began to move frantically. Yu Xianzi sent people to investigate. Who was it that had descended? As for the Molo clan, the 9-headed snake clan, the Eagle clan, and the others, they also began to investigate. That damned expert, where exactly was he? Would it be possible for them to meet? After investigating, they found that the aura seemed to have come from the Lotus platform. They immediately went to the Lotus platform to inquire. The top clans summoned their geniuses back. The Hydra clan leader said, "What happened?" The Hydra clan leader said, "Nothing. It's just that there was an arrogant kid." The Molo clan and the Chiefing clan also began to inquire about the matter. However, They did not discover any peerless experts. However, among these people, there was an arrogant brat. Who was the other party? They didn't know. They only knew that he was called Lin Gongzi and was a guest invited by the Eagle clan. That kid was too arrogant. He said that I wasn't worthy of being his opponent. The geniuses were furious. Lin Gongzi dared to challenge the heavenly Tao? The illusory eyes and those people furrowed their brows tightly. Suddenly, the expression of the All-Devil clan's patriarch changed. Could it be? He seemed to have thought of something, and his body trembled. Grandpa, what's wrong? Princess Pineapple asked. What's his name? Princess Moro said, I only know that he's called Lin Gongzi, but I don't know what he is. Is he powerful? The Moro clan leader took a deep breath. Could it really be him? He's the only one who dares to challenge the heavenly Tao. On the other side, the Grand Elder of the Nine-Head clan trembled. It's him. It must be him. Who is the patriarch? The Hydra clan leader was puzzled. The Grand Elder slapped him to the ground. You idiot! You've caused trouble. Come with me to the Eagle clan and ask for forgiveness. Who did I offend? The Hydra clan leader was also confused. However, his old ancestor had already brought him away from the clan to the Eagle clan. On the other side, the Moro clan leader asked with a smile, Granddaughter, you're not young anymore. Isn't it time to find a husband? Hearing this, Princess Moro blushed. Grandpa, what are you talking about? I said that my husband must be stronger than me. I don't like the Hydra clan leader. He's not as strong as me. That was indeed the case. Princess Mo Luo was ranked second on the genius ranking. The person ranked first was someone called Yu Xianzi, who was also a woman. She was also a good friend of hers. In this way, there was no man who could defeat her in the same age group. Therefore, Fairy Moro would not marry anyone else. The Moro clan leader said, This person is much stronger than the Hydra clan leader. He's even stronger than me. You won't be disappointed. However, there's a problem. It's not certain whether he wants you or not. What? Who's so powerful? Princess Moro was dumbfounded. He was more powerful than her grandpa, but he didn't want her? Was she weak? She was now a quasi-emperor, a top genius. Moreover, she was extremely beautiful. How was she weak? This was an opportunity. She had to try it. Otherwise, she would regret it for the rest of her life. Granddaughter, come with me. He waved his hand, tore open the void, and headed to the Eagle clan with Princess Moro. Chapter 6002. The people of the Eagle tribe were also surprised that such a powerful master had come here. They had to find him and pay him a visit. On this day, the void flickered and a figure descended from the sky. The powerful aura on his body frightened the people of the Eagle tribe. It was the Grand Elder of the Nine-Headed tribe. Why was he here? The elders of the Eagle tribe hurriedly greeted him. Greetings, Senior. They all bowed. Fellow Taoist of the Eagle tribe, you're too polite. I'm here to apologize. Apologize? What does that mean? The elders of the Eagle tribe were all stunned. Tell me, the Grand Elder of the Nine-Headed Snake tribe said. The nine-headed young master walked out with an extremely ugly expression. He said reluctantly, I'm here to apologize. I offended Lin Gongzi before, so I'm here today to apologize to him. Offended Lin Gongzi? What Lin Gongzi? The people of the Eagle tribe were all stunned. Did they have Lin Gongzi here? Actually, there was one. Wasn't it the one brought by the ancestor? However, was that young man so important? Even the patriarch of the Eagle tribe was alarmed. He hurried over and said, Fellow Taoist, are you mistaken? The Grand Elder said, Absolutely. Let me see Lin Gongzi. All right, go ahead. The people of the Eagle tribe did not stop him. The Grand Elder brought the nine-headed young master to the depths of the Eagle tribe. There was a secluded hall there, and after entering he saw Lin Xian. Kneel down. The Grand Elder kicked the nine-headed young master to the ground. "Apologize to me." "Why?" "I don't accept it," the nine-headed young master said. The Grand Elder slapped him. "You don't accept it, because he's stronger than you. He's stronger than me. Do you accept it?" After saying that, he also cupped his fists and said, "Lin Gongzi, I'm sorry. I didn't teach him well and let this kid offend you. I'm here to apologize to you." When Lin Xian heard this, the corners of his mouth lifted. He said, "You recognize me?" Lin Gongzi's name resounded throughout the universe. How could I not know him? This grandson of mine has eyes but can't see. I will punish him severely. After saying that, he kicked him twice more. The nine-headed young master was in an incomparably miserable state. The people from the Eagle tribe originally wanted to see if there was a misunderstanding. However, when they saw the scene, they were all stunned. What was the meaning of this? The nine-headed young master knelt on the ground and kowtowed. The Supreme Elder was so respectful. Heavens, who was this young man? Ying Li and the others were also dumbfounded after reading it. They couldn't help but feel a sense of fear. This was not the end. It was at this moment that the void was torn apart once more, and two more figures appeared. They were Patriarch Mara and Princess Mara. "Don't tell me you're here to apologize as well?" The elder of the Eagle tribe had a strange expression on his face. Patriarch Emoluo said, "Apologize? Apologize for what?" "It's not an apology." "That's good. I knew it. How could this kid have such a big face? It must be a misunderstanding." Ying Li and the others also breathed a sigh of relief. However, the next moment they jumped to their feet. "We're here to see Lin Gongzi." Patriarch Emoluo spoke. Ying Li and the others all went crazy. "They're here to see Lin Gongzi again. What's the matter?" The chief of the Eagle tribe asked. Patriarch Emoluo said, "Take me to see Lin Gongzi first." "This way, please." Soon, Patriarch Emoluo also saw Lin Xian. Immediately his eyes lit up, although the young man in front of him was standing there. He didn't deliberately release any aura, but it still made him feel as if he was as deep as the sea, unfathomable. That's right. He should be the legendary person. He smiled and said, "I'm the chief of the Emoluo clan. This is my granddaughter. I think Lin Gongzi should have seen you before, right?" "Yes." Lin Xian nodded. Patriarch Emoluo said, "That's easy. Lin Gongzi, what do you think of my granddaughter? She hasn't married yet. Why don't you give her to Lin Gongzi as a Taoist companion?" "What?" Hearing this, everyone was stunned. The elders of the Eagle tribe widened their eyes in disbelief. The surrounding young geniuses all went crazy. They felt that there was something wrong with their ears. Was the goddess in their eyes being given away just like that? Hydra even jumped up. "I don't accept this." As soon as he finished speaking, he was slapped to the ground by the Grand Elder. "Kneel down." "Grandpa, I haven't agreed yet." Princess Emoluo's face turned red. Patriarch Emoluo sighed. "My dear granddaughter, it doesn't matter whether you agree or not. The important thing is whether Lin Gongzi agrees or not." After that, he looked at Lin Xian and said, "My granddaughter is good at everything. If she stays by Lin Gongzi's side, even if they can't be a Taoist companion, it's not bad to be a little maid." With a bang, the geniuses of the Eagle tribe all knelt on the ground in fear. Be a little maid? She was the second heavenly beauty on the 15th floor of hell. They tried their best to pursue her, but failed. Now, they were going to be someone else's little maid. Princess Emoluo also went crazy. She thought that her grandpa was joking, but now it seemed that her grandpa was really determined. "Damn it, why? What's so good about this boy? Forget it, I'm not suitable." At this time, Lin Xian shook his head and refused directly. Patriarch Emoluo sighed. "Young master, don't you want to think about it?" Princess Emoluo went crazy. "Boy, how can you refuse me?" "What's wrong with me?" She was furious. Her grandpa wanted to give her away with a pale face. However, the other party refused. Had she ever been refused? She had always been the one to refuse others. She was so angry that she went crazy. "Grandson, don't be rude." Patriarch Emoluo's expression changed. The next moment he stepped forward and bowed deeply. "This granddaughter has been spoiled by me. Please forgive me, Lin Gongzi. If Lin Gongzi wants to punish someone, punish me." "Grandpa, why are you so afraid of him?" Princess Emoluo was dumbfounded. The other people had also gone crazy. The people of the Eagle tribe looked at each other. "Who is this boy? Is he the son of a great emperor?" "That's possible. However, even if he is the son of a great emperor, he still has a lot of face." The faces of the elders of the Eagle tribe became solemn. The patriarch of the Eagle tribe's heart skipped a beat. They had heard about Lin Xian before, but they didn't take it seriously. In their view, there couldn't be such a terrifying genius in the world. But now they saw the performance of the two patriarchs of the Demon Clan and the Hydra Clan. They were all crazy. It seemed that things were much more serious than they thought. Patriarch Emoluo said, "Fellow Taoist of the Eagle tribe, why did you arrange Lin Gongzi in this remote hall?" The nine-headed snake ancestor also said, "Could it be that you didn't treat young Master Lin well? Lin Gongzi, why don't you come to my Hydra clan? The treatment there is 1,000 times, 10,000 times better than here. No, go to my Moro clan. We are willing to submit to you." Everyone went crazy. The Hydra young master roared, "Patriarch, give me an explanation. Otherwise, I will duel with him." "That's right." Princess Emoluo also said, "Grandpa, you must tell us who he is. Otherwise, I won't agree even if I die here today." Patriarch Emoluo sighed, "Lin Gongzi's strength is beyond my imagination. He has a title that you may not have heard of. His name is Lin Wudi." "What? Lin Wudi?" Princess Emoluo was dumbfounded. The Hydra young master was still a little confused. The Hydra patriarch said, "Lin Wudi, the #1 genius under the starry sky, once killed 2 great emperors. In the heavenly land, he fought against several great emperors alone and retreated unscathed. He has the 9-yang divine body and has the cultivation of 10 crown king." These words resounded in all directions like a clap of thunder. Everyone was stunned. Fighting against great emperors, killing great emperors, 10 crown kings, cultivation. Under the starry sky, he was an invincible genius. Every piece of news was like a sharp sword stabbing into their hearts. At this moment, the people of the Eagle tribe were completely trembling. It turned out that what the patriarch said before was true. All of it was true. Chapter 6003. Ing Li and the other geniuses of the Eagle tribe fell to their knees with a thud. Their bodies were trembling. They had actually dared to frame someone like that. With just a wave of his finger, the other party would be able to make them hover between life and death. The faces of the elders of the Eagle tribe changed drastically. They had dared to treat such a great emperor-level figure with contempt. They had even mocked and ridiculed him. Thinking of this, they were filled with regret. "Please forgive us, sir." The chief of the Eagle tribe stepped forward and bowed. "This old man was blind to have neglected you, sir." Now he was filled with regret. It was possible that he would miss out on such a great opportunity. The 9-headed young master was so scared that he prostrated himself on the ground. He no longer dared to speak of a duel. He wouldn't dare even if he had 100 guts. On the other side, Princess Moro's mind was also blank. Now, she finally understood her grandfather's intentions. Staying by such a person's side, even if she was just a servant, her future achievements would be limitless. Moreover, she had heard of Lin Wudi long ago. He was the Prince Charming in her heart. How many times had she dreamt that Lin Wudi would look at her more than once? But now, she didn't know that he was standing here. More importantly, she had been rejected. Thinking of this, she began to sob. Outside the Eagle tribe, another war chariot arrived. On the chariot stood a red-haired man. He was the #1 genius of the Crimson Peak tribe. When he heard that Princess Mora was going to be betrothed to someone else, he was instantly furious. Someone called Lin Gongzi? Who did he think he was? He knew that Lin Wuti was in the Eagle tribe. However, this time the #1 genius of the Crimson Peak had brought an expert with him. This was an expert he had met outside 8 Crown King. He had promised the benefits of the Crimson Peak tribe to invite 8 Crown King to take action. 8 Crown King was a scorpion. He had cultivated to a very high level. He smiled. "Don't worry, Sir Crimson Peak. He's just a junior. I can easily suppress him. All right, I'll rely on you this time. I'll agree to your conditions. When you fulfill them, I'll immediately give them to you." Arriving in front of the Eagle tribe, the #1 genius of the Crimson Peak shouted coldly, "Lin, get out here." His voice rolled and spread in all directions. The faces of the Eagle clan changed when they heard this voice. Is he here for Lin Gongzi? Who was it? How dare he berate Lin Gongzi? They were all going crazy. Now they knew the name of Lin Xian. That was Lin Wuti. He was someone who had killed a great emperor. Lin Xian also frowned. Is there anyone else who doesn't know what's good for them? With a sway of his body, he headed outside. The surrounding people all followed. Soon they left the Eagle clan. He saw 2 figures standing in front of him. One was a red-haired man, and the other was a gloomy old man. He was the #1 genius of the Crimson Summit race. What was he trying to do? Everyone was stunned. The #1 genius of the Chiefing clan said, "You're that Lin Gongzi, right?" Kneeling before me, "I'm the one who's interested in Princess Emo Luo. How dare you try to snatch her from me? Are you courting death?" Hearing this, the people around Lin Xian looked very strange. The 9-headed young master, eagerly, and the others looked at him as if he was an idiot. Chiefing was probably going to die miserably. Princess Emo Luo also said, "Shut up, Lin Gongzi is not someone you can provoke." The #1 genius of the Chiefing clan said, "Don't worry, Princess. This time I brought a master. Please help me, Senior Scorpion." Scorpion walked out, stared ahead, and laughed loudly. "Little kid, you're Lin Gongzi, right? You're no match for me, because I'm the 8 Crown King." Then his aura erupted with terrifying power that swept across the area. This power made everyone's expression change drastically. The aura of the 8 Crown King was so terrifying. The surrounding people were terrified beyond belief. Although Lin Xian's name was famous, they hadn't felt any terrifying aura from him yet. The 8 Crown King, on the other hand, was the real deal here. Some people began to wonder if Lin Wuti was as powerful as the legend said. Perhaps he was just a figurehead. "You want to challenge me?" Lin Xian's expression was cold. He knew it was time for him to show his power. The 8 Crown King wasn't the strongest, but it was enough to intimidate these people. He walked out and said, "Die." After saying that, he threw out a punch. "Kid, you think you can defeat me?" Scorpion sneered. A scorpion tail appeared behind him and lashed out. Anyone in the same level as him would die without a doubt if they touched his poison. In the next moment, the two collided and the scorpion tail shattered. Scorpion's expression changed completely when he felt the power of the punch. The others were also stunned. What kind of punch was that? It was like the sun in the night, illuminating the ages. The world was shocked by the punch. The void shattered. The entire 15th floor of hell shook violently, as if it couldn't withstand the punch. "No, where did you come from?" Scorpion was terrified. This power far exceeded the 8 Crown Kings. It wasn't something he could withstand. He wanted to escape, but in the next instant he was reduced to ashes by this punch. When Lin Xian pulled back his fist, the others were still as stunned as statues. Patriarch Emo Luo, Patriarch Hydra, and the Eagle tribe's patriarch were trembling. They were the strongest people there, but they admitted that they had no way of dealing with that punch. Apart from kowtowing, there was nothing they could do. If they were hit by that punch, they wouldn't survive even if they were given 100 lives. Was this Linwoody? The young geniuses were even more shocked. The 8-crown king was someone they looked up to, but he was killed with a single punch. This power was too strong, so strong that they couldn't imagine it. Linwoody's reputation had only existed in legends. Now that they saw it with their own eyes, they were shocked and terrified. It was even more terrifying than before. At this moment, everyone standing beside Lin Xian was trembling uncontrollably. No one dared to look up at him. Opposite him, the number 1 genius of the chiefing tribe was so frightened that he fell to his knees with a thud. Who are you?" he said in horror. Lin Xian snorted coldly. With a wave of his sleeve, a wave of law tore him in half. "No, Patriarch, save me." The number 1 genius of the chiefing tribe roared crazily. His soul was about to be extinguished. The 15 treasures on his body rose into the air. One could well imagine how highly he was regarded by the clan. However, these treasures were all shattered by Lin Xian's law. At the most critical moment, a low roar came from afar. "Who dares to hurt my grandson?" A red-haired old man arrived at the scene. He threw a punch at Lin Xian and said, "Die!" His grandson's life was in danger. He wouldn't allow it. "Don't attack." Patriarch Emoluo roared. Patriarch Hydra also said, "Red-haired old man, quickly kowtow and apologize." However, it was too late. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He looked forward. In his eyes, there seemed to be an inextinguishable flame rushing forward. The terrifying power shook heaven and earth. The 6 paths of reincarnation appeared as if a passage of life and death had been opened. The red-haired old man spat out a mouthful of blood as if he was struck by lightning. His body continued to shatter. Chapter 6004. The red-haired old man came quickly and was defeated quickly. In an instant he was crushed and his body was torn apart. His soul was also broken and he was about to die. At this time, Patriarch Emoluo said, "Young master, please show mercy." Lin Xian stopped, looked at him, and said coldly, "You want to challenge me too?" With that he waved his sleeve, and the red-haired old man's soul was destroyed. He was dead. Everyone was shocked. Patriarch Emoluo was also pale with fright. He quickly shook his head. "I don't dare. We are willing to respect you." The Hydra Patriarch and the others quickly lowered their heads. At this moment, Lin Xian's killing intent was too terrifying. It seemed that he could kill them all in one fell swoop. No one could resist Lin Xian's gaze. Was this the power of Linwoody? It was too terrifying. He killed the patriarch of a clan with one move. Princess Emoluo and the others were shocked. "This is like a myth." "Respect me? Very well. I hope you will keep your word." Lin Xian waved his sleeve and walked toward the Eagle clan. The Eagle clan patriarch and the others quickly followed. At this time, Ing Wufeng also walked out. He looked at the Eagle clan patriarch and the others, shook his head and sighed. "You missed a great opportunity. Do you understand?" The Eagle clan patriarch said regretfully, "Patriarch, it's our fault. We should have listened to you long ago." Indeed, when Ing Wufeng came, he asked them to bow and carefully accompany Lin Xian. However, they did not believe it before. If they had treated him with respect from the beginning, they would not have believed it. Lin Xian could have casually taught them some secret techniques, and they would have benefited immensely. But now he didn't kill them. It must be a great kindness. In the Eagle clan's main hall, Lin Xian sat on the throne, and a group of experts stood below. In addition to the Eagle clan, there were also the Hydra clan and the Moro clan. Lin Xian could start his first plan, which was to collect resources. Not only did he want the resources of the 15th level of hell, but he also wanted the resources of the other levels. He wanted to help Xiaojio reach the critical point first. When they heard that Lin Xian needed an enormous amount of resources, everyone was shocked. What were they trying to do? Lin Xian said, "It's none of your business. I have my own ways. You just need to follow my instructions." Yes, these people did not dare to resist and hurriedly took action. Could it be that Lin Wuti wanted to break through and become a great emperor? Indeed, this was a possibility. They sucked in a cold breath. As for Lin Xian, he personally went to the Scarlet Peak clan. Not a single person from the Scarlet Peak clan could resist him. Originally, when they learned that their clan chief had died, they wanted to take revenge. However, when they learned of Lin Xian's strength, they all gave up. They knelt on the ground and submitted, willing to serve Lin Xian. Very good. Lin Xian gazed into the distance. Now only the fiends were left. He set off for the fiend race. The people from the other clans also became nervous. The fiends were the most powerful clan in the 15th level of hell. Furthermore, their origins were very mysterious. Would they be able to resist them? When Yu Xianzi secretly found out about this, she also sucked in a cold breath. It was Lin Wuti. She hurriedly sent the news back to her clan. However, as soon as she returned, Lin Xian had already arrived. Lin Xian's aura suppressed the entire Black Mountain range, causing the fiends to tremble in fear. Was a god descending? They prostrated on the ground. The fiends respect me. Provide me with resources, and I'll spare your life. Lin Xian's voice sounded. If you do well, I'll give you a great fortune in the future. Damn it. Many of the fiends gritted their teeth. Yu Xianzi's expression was also ugly. They were the most powerful clan. They also had great power behind them. Should they bow their heads now? If they were unwilling, they would fight it out with him. That was it. Many of them gritted their teeth. However, the mysterious statue said, "Submit. We will leave this mountain range and leave all the resources to him." However, Yu Xianzi and the others still wanted to say something. The mysterious statue said, "Those who disobey will be killed." The fiends had no choice but to retreat. The Black Mountain Peak left all the resources and treasures to Lin Xian. Even the fiends bowed their heads. Seeing this scene, the people of the other clans were completely stunned. It seemed that they could only work hard for Lin Xian. Otherwise, they would probably end up in a miserable state. These clans took action. They were the top clans and were very powerful. Only Lin Xian could subdue them. And these clans also wanted to go to other places besides the 15th level of hell. They set up arrays to transport resources continuously. Lin Xian asked Xiaojio to get ready, while he went to the 10th level of hell. There was an old friend there. On the other side, the fiends retreated from the mountain range and said unhappily, "Clan leader, are we just going to let it go?" Everyone looked at the black statue. The black statue said, "Since he is Lin Wuti, we can't fight against him. If we anger him, he will kill all of us. But we won't let this go. Send the news to the next clan. Let them send the great emperors to deal with this matter. I have a feeling that Lin Wuti has other intentions for coming to the 15th level of hell." "Okay, I'll do it now." Yu Xianzi said. They started to move. If Lin Xian was here, he would be shocked. The power behind the fiends was the Xia clan. It was unbelievable. On the other side, Lin Xian didn't know that he had already arrived at the 4th level. The 10th level suppressed an incredible existence, the 10,000 Rock King, who was also the ancient 10-Crown King. He was suppressed here by a virtual immortal. Lin Xian woke him up. When the 10,000 Rock King saw Lin Xian, he was shocked. "Your aura. Have you also reached the 10-Crown King realm?" Lin Xian nodded. "That's right. I'm also the 10-Crown King, and I have the ability to save you now. But I have to find a good opportunity, because if you fail, you will end up with your body and soul destroyed." At this point, Lin Xian sighed. 100,000 years ago, He wanted to save the 10-crown king of the dragon race, but he failed. This time he had to be careful about the 10,000 rock king. He couldn't fail again. Can you save me now? Can you break the seal? Yes, but if I break the seal, it will attract the attention of the otherworld heavenly king. They will even swarm over. Perhaps the virtual immortal will also make a move. So, I have to wait for an opportunity. Recently, someone in the divine realm is about to break through and become a great emperor. At that time, there will be some stubborn people on our side. The otherworld, heavenly king, will definitely come to stop us. At that time, they won't be able to take care of this place. When the time comes, I will think of a way to break your seal. Okay. The 10,000 Rock King was also excited. When I break the seal, I will help you. He had been trapped here for too long. Originally, he was already in despair, but now, Lin Xian gave him hope. Lin Xian said, "Senior, wait here. I'll take my leave first." After telling the 10,000 Rock King, Lin Xian left again. After returning, he took a look at the progress of the various families and found that there was still some time before it was completed. He asked Ding Wufeng to keep an eye on it. At the same time, he left again. This time, he left Hell. He went to other planets and worlds. Chapter 6005. He had no choice. Now that Xiaojio had broken through and become a great emperor, the Permitha Heavenly King would definitely not let the matter rest. It would be difficult for him to fight against them alone. After all, he was only the 10-crown king now. However, he would not let the Permitha Heavenly King succeed. Therefore, Lin Xian prepared to find help. After leaving Hell, Lin Xian began to search the starry sky. He went to many places: the second star field, the buried Emperor Star, the true spirit world, and even the worlds he had lived in before. For example, the Prodigy Manor, the Ancient Pagoda, and the South Horizon region. In addition to finding help, Lin Xian also wanted to settle some matters of the past. Along the way, he had encountered countless experts. Some of these experts were dead, while some were alive. They had all helped him a lot. Lin Xian returned this time to repay their kindness. In the ancient pagoda in the starry sky, there was a tattoo of a black Qilin. It was a tattoo of a Qilin expert. Back then, the black Qilin had roared to the sky, "I want to fight the heavens." Now that Lin Xian came here again, he felt that this was also a 10-crown king who had been tragically sealed by someone. He let out an unwilling roar. In fact, he was even more miserable than the 10,000 Prong King. The 10,000 Prong King was still alive. However, the black Qilin was already dead. Lin Xian opened the 6 paths of reincarnation and dissipated the black Qilin's resentment. He sent him completely into the cycle of reincarnation, allowing him to be reborn. At the same time, Lin Xian contacted the Qilin clan and asked them to come over and take the black Qilin's remains. When the Qilin clan arrived and saw the black Qilin's remains, they were shocked. What a terrifying bloodline and aura. This was their Qilin clan's peerless expert back then. They did not expect that other than the Qilin emperor, their Qilin clan actually had such an expert. Many thanks to Lin Gongzi. If Lin Xian hadn't told them, this black Qilin expert would have been buried in the starry sky forever. There's no need to thank me. Back then, I once obtained Senior Qilin's good fortune. Now, I'm here to repay his kindness. With that, Lin Xian waved his hand, and boundless laws gathered together to form a picture of a black Qilin that floated in the air. Lin Xian said, "This was left behind by Senior Black Qilin. Feel it well." He didn't want his ultimate technique to be lost. The Qilin Sun and the Qilin clan expressed their gratitude once more. Right now, the Qilin Sun was also growing very quickly. He had already reached the 9-crown king level. However, if he took another step forward, he wouldn't be able to reach it. He was bound by the shackles of his bloodline. The sons of great emperors had unparalleled talent, but their bloodlines were the shackles of their lives. If they couldn't make a breakthrough, they would never be able to take another step forward, let alone become a martial monarch. The Qilin son looked at Lin Xian with great emotion. He said, "If you need anything, please feel free to speak." Lin Xian's eyes flickered. "It's possible. I really do need your help. After some time, I might need your extreme weapons." "Okay." The Qilin son nodded. They took the remains of the Black Qilin and returned to the Qilin clan. Lin Xian went to the extraordinary scholar's mansion again. Back then, there was a wordless heavenly steel there. Lin Xian had once comprehended it. There, he also received good fortune. Now that Lin Xian was back, he wanted to see if there was anything he could help with. This wordless heavenly steel was very similar to those in the underworld. However, it wasn't. Thinking about it, it should have been carved by a peerless master back then after seeing the wordless heavenly steel. "Greetings, Senior." The people of the extraordinary scholar's mansion bowed respectfully to Lin Xian. Lin Xian glanced at them. Back then, he had left the extraordinary scholar's mansion. It had been many years since then. Some people had already died. There were many new faces among the newcomers. Lin Xian said, "Seeing you reminds me of me back then. Back then, I had comprehended the wordless heavenly steel and received good fortune. Moreover, now that I'm back to comprehend this broken steel, I want to send the consciousness of the powerhouse in the heavenly steel into reincarnation. Let him reincarnate this." The people of the extraordinary scholar's mansion were shocked. An old man walked out and said, "Senior, the wordless heavenly steel contains a mysterious supreme art. If it disappears, it will be a great loss to us." Lin Xian said, "It's okay. I will pass on the supreme art to you." Lin Xian left behind a sword technique. Qin Kuin sword technique. Endless sword qi condensed into a heavenly steel, standing upright in the knight's uniform. Under the heavenly steel, one could comprehend the Qin Kuin sword technique. When the powerhouses of the extraordinary scholar's mansion saw the Qin Kuin sword technique, they were extremely shocked. Such a peerless technique was like a great emperor's supernatural power. "Thank you, young master." They were extremely grateful. Those young geniuses even looked up. When? Could they reach Lin Xian's level? Lin Xian left the Qin Kuin sword technique and came in front of the wordless heavenly steel. He opened the 6 paths of reincarnation and opened the passage of life and death. He said, "Senior, take care." The wordless heavenly steel slowly disappeared. Then a shadow appeared from it. Lin Xian was in a trance. He saw that the shadow seemed to turn into a green ox and left. This made Lin Xian shocked. The wordless heavenly steel was related to the ancient giants, Oxhead and Horseface, and this steel was carved out by someone. It was also a green ox. What was its relationship with the ancient Oxhead? Lin Xian probably had no chance to know these. The image of the azure ox entered the 6 paths of reincarnation. The moment he entered, he turned his head and nodded slightly at Lin Xian. Then he stepped in and disappeared. Lin Xian also left the extraordinary scholar's mansion. Not long after he left, there was an extra statue in the extraordinary scholar's mansion. It was a young man, handsome and confident, holding a long sword in his hand. He seemed to have an aura of disdain for the world. This statue was engraved with Lin Xian, and this statue was placed in front of the Qin Kuin sword steel for countless people to worship and look up to. Lin Xian returned to the South Horizon region. This was the place where he was born. At this moment, the overall strength of the South Horizon region was much stronger than when he was born. The Lin clan had long left. It was Lin Zhan who took them away. Lin Xian's mother and his clansmen were placed in a very safe place by Lin Zhan. Lin Xian didn't have to worry about this. With Lin Zhan's strength, it was enough for his clansmen to live a carefree life. Lin Xian came to an ancient tomb again. Here the evil king was. He waved his hand and the ancient tomb opened. A corpse appeared. I'll give you a gift. Good fortune. Lin Xian also opened the 6 paths of reincarnation and enveloped the evil king. Moreover, Lin Xian struck some laws in the other party's body, using the power of the heavenly Tao to add words. After the other party reincarnated and was reborn, his talent should be far greater than before. Thank you. When he entered the 6 paths of reincarnation, the evil king let out an old voice. Lin Xian nodded. His eyes flickered. His current strength had reached a transcendent level. Where did he want to go? He could go there with a thought. What did he want to do? He could do it with a light wave of his hand. It was as if he had really become a god in the eyes of others. Along the way, Lin Xian had seen too many cycles of reincarnation and had come to a new understanding of life. The laws on his body became even more mysterious. Unknowingly, he returned to the true spirit world. Lin Xian was thinking, this time, should I borrow the power of the Yuhua immortal dynasty? Just as he was heading to the middle continent, he met a child which stunned him. This child looked very similar to an old friend of his. Chapter 6006. It was a little boy. He was very cute, and his eyes were extremely bright. If other people saw him, they would definitely praise him. This is a cute and smart child. However, Lin Xian was stunned because he saw the shadow of Hongyu in this child. Hongyu was the person who gave him the eye back then. Now, seeing this child again, Lin Xian was extremely shocked. Could it be that Hongyu had been reincarnated? Lin Xian looked at the child in a daze. At this moment, a middle-aged couple walked over and said, Wuxia, we should go home. The cute child nodded, but before he left, he still looked at Lin Xian a few more times. His eyes were really too bright. Lin Xian walked over, which made the middle-aged couple nervous. What do you want? Lin Xian said, don't be afraid. I want to give you a chance. Can you let him stay by my side for 3 days? Who are you? The middle-aged man frowned and exuded an aura. It seemed that he was also a martial arts cultivator. I don't mean any harm. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the nearby broadsword danced in the air, condensing into a ball of light that surrounded his palm. Then he weaved it into a lotus. Come up. He placed the lotus at the child's feet. When they saw this scene, the middle-aged couple was stunned. This young man was too terrifying. He raised his hand and picked the starlight of the universe, and used the law to condense it into a lotus of the great path. He was simply a god. They were so scared that they quickly bowed. Greetings, exalted immortal. Don't worry, I'm fated with him. I'll only stay for 3 days. Okay. The middle-aged woman quickly nodded. They felt that there was hope for their child. Lin Xian took Wuxia to his side and asked, Your name is Wuxia? The child nodded. Yes, my name is Zhan Wuxia. This little guy didn't seem to be afraid of Lin Xian at all. Then Lin Xian used the eyes of the 6 paths of reincarnation to envelop him. He found that this child was indeed very mysterious. Let me help you regain your memory. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He didn't dare to be careless, even though he had an eye of the 6 paths of reincarnation. However, it was not easy to help a person who had been reborn regain their memories. After all, Hongyu was not a martial monarch back then. His father, the battled arch, had been reborn in the past. It had taken him a long time to recover. Many martial monarchs were helping them secretly. Otherwise, it would have been even more difficult. For 3 days, Lin Xian had been gathering the power of reincarnation. Finally, he tapped Zhen Wuxia's forehead. Zhen Wuxia's body trembled, and his soul shook. In the next moment, a shocking light appeared in his eyes. I'm back. Although his voice was young and tender, it was filled with determination. So sleepy. In the next moment, he closed his eyes and fell asleep. Lin Xian came looking for the middle-aged couple. The middle-aged couple was very worried when they saw the unconscious Wuxia. Lin Xian, don't worry. He was just too sleepy. I have a storage ring here. I'll leave it for him to cultivate in the future. With that, Lin Xian took out a blue ring from the sword world and gave it to them. Then he soared into the air and left. Thank you, Immortal. The middle-aged couple was overjoyed, especially the middle-aged woman. She checked the storage ring. I wonder what's in there. However, when she probed what was inside, she was so shocked that she froze on the spot. The middle-aged man was curious. He also took a look, and then he was dumbfounded. Heavens! Was this the treasure vault of an immortal? There were too many heavenly treasures inside. It was so many that he couldn't imagine who the other party was. He left behind so many heavenly treasures, so casually. There was hope for our child. The middle-aged woman cried excitedly. Needless to say, their child would definitely be an earth-shattering figure when he grew up. Lin Xian left and went on his way again. He went to many places and did many things. Lin Xian's figure appeared all over the universe. In fact, Lin Xian even saw Wu Hua's tomb. Wu Hua was also his friend back then. He didn't expect that he would be buried in a foreign land. Lin Xian opened the 6 paths of reincarnation and enveloped the tomb. He wanted to let Wu Hua reincarnate. However, a voice sounded. You're finally here. Take me away and send me to the Dead Sea. After Lin Xian heard this, he left with Wu Hua. A few days later, he was going to the Black Demon Cliff. Back then, he had obtained the inheritance of the 9 Yang divine body from there. Now he wanted to go back and take a look. When he came to the Black Demon Cliff again, Lin Xian still felt the terrifying information. Back then, an earth-shattering battle had taken place here, causing the 9 Yang divine body to shatter. One could imagine how terrifying the battle was. After Lin Xian arrived, he felt that there was a black aura above the Black Demon Cliff that swept towards him. Lin Xian frowned tightly. This demonic aura was very strange. It was different from the Demon Emperor's. The Demon Emperor's was domineering, but this move in front of him was strange. He didn't know who or what left it behind. After Lin Xian arrived, he opened the 6 paths of reincarnation. He also wanted to let the soul of this generation's 9 Yang divine body enter the cycle of reincarnation. Perhaps one day he could be reborn. The phantoms of 6 worlds appeared, forming 6 channels that enveloped the Black Demon Cliff. Inside the Black Demon Cliff, there were specks of flames dancing. These were the remnant souls of the 9 Yang divine body. They quickly condensed under the 6 paths of reincarnation. However, at this time, Lin Xian frowned tightly, because he found that there was some black aura condensing between these specks of light. Damn it, this should be the demonic blood. It hasn't been destroyed yet. Get lost. Lin Xian waved his hand and struck out the great dragon sword Qi, slashing at the demonic blood. The demonic blood was cut into pieces. However, they could no longer be separated from the specks of flame. This sword not only smashed the demonic blood, but also the specks of flame. Lin Xian quickly stopped and didn't continue to attack. What was going on? Next, Lin Xian tried all kinds of methods to separate the two, but he found that he couldn't do it. After a long time, the two had merged into one. Damn it! Lin Xian gritted his teeth. At this time, the specks of light condensed again, forming an illusory soul. It was very broken. There were countless black markings on his soul. It was a ghastly sight. The broken soul seemed to be in pain and weak. He said, I am very gratified that you can grow to this point. Continue to carry forward the 9 Yang divine body. Don't bother about me anymore, and don't try to let my soul enter the 6 paths of reincarnation. I can no longer be separated from him. I don't want him to appear in this world again. Let me suppress him here forever. There was endless sadness in his voice. After Lin Xian heard this, his eyes turned red. He wanted to say again, Senior, tell me, who is this black demonic blood? It can't be the Demon Emperor, right? It wasn't him, but a demon from the other side. He was called the Demon Lord, and all the demons in the world respected him. All right, hurry up and leave. Don't come here again. Turn off your 6 paths of reincarnation. After the broken figure finished speaking, it turned into countless specks of light and scattered in various places of the black demon cliff. Senior, all the worlds in the universe will remember your kindness. Lin Xian bowed deeply to the black demon cliff. Then he took out a pot of strong wine from the sword world and sprinkled it on the ground. Take care of yourself, Senior. After I attain my Tao, I will come again. Chapter 6007. Lin Xian left. After he left, a sigh was heard from the black demon cliff. At the same time, a cold voice was heard. It's useless. Although he has left, you can't suppress me any longer. In the end, you will become mine. This voice was so cold that the surrounding black, demonic aura kept churning. I won't let you have your way. Endless rays of light flickered as the two of them clashed once again. Lin Xian didn't know any of this. After Lin Xian left the black demon cliff, he went to many places that he had been to before. This time he had come back to walk the path of growth and had gained a lot of enlightenment. In the end, he decided to return to the Divine Union to meet his old friends. At the same time, he was prepared to bring along Morong Qingqing, Yen Ruyu, and the others to protect Xiajiu. On the other side, the Permitha Heavenly King was still as mysterious as ever. Somewhere on the Permitha Heavenly King was a huge tortoise. This tortoise was very old. No one knew how many tens of thousands of years it had lived. Countless tributes were placed around it. Every day, geniuses from the Permitha Heavenly King would come and kowtow to it. During the past few days, a terrifying light had suddenly erupted from the tortoise's back. Then it formed a pattern. This pattern was earth-shattering, as if thunder from the 9 heavens had struck. The huge tortoise opened its eyes, and its ancient body started to pulse. This caused countless people to be astonished. The elites from the Permitha Heavenly King were stunned. The Rashi Master had actually woken up. Heavens, this is too incredible. Another bunch of newcomers have awakened on our side. This is great. They were all excited. Even the virtual immortal was alarmed. The virtual immortal turned into a green light and flew over. He floated in the air and looked down at the ancient tortoise. Have you finally awakened? He asked. How much have you recovered? The ancient tortoise stuck its head out. Surprisingly, there was a crack on its head that had sunken in. It hadn't recovered even now. One could imagine how terrifying that attack had been. Back then, I was injured by that monkey and fell into a deep sleep for so many years. A deep voice rang out, filled with endless resentment. The ancient tortoise gritted its teeth. I've just woken up. I'm afraid it'll take some time for me to recover. What about you? You managed to obtain the virtual immortal realm from Taba. Yuan Xian said, I'm not at my peak either. Back then, the heaven-devouring Great Emperor was equally terrifying. However, it was fortunate that there had been no news of her after so many years. She was probably dead. There was no news from the monkey either. In the end, we still won. Is that so? Was there no news about that damned monkey? That was great. Master Rashi smiled, but soon he stopped laughing and said, While I was sleeping, I actually sensed the heavenly secrets. Something terrible has happened. I have to report it to the Grand Elder immediately. What's going on? To be able to make you so shocked. Master Rashi said, I sense that someone in the universe seems to be about to become an emperor. What? Someone was going to become a great emperor. Who was it? Even the expressions of the virtual immortals changed. On the other side, other people said, Isn't it just becoming a great emperor? Immortals, why should you be afraid? Stupid. The virtual immortal snorted. Do you know? This is the first time someone has become an emperor after the deity ground descended. This person's strength must be unfathomable. After becoming an emperor, he will be very terrifying. We will not allow such a person to appear. I originally thought that we would be the first to become an emperor in the universe. However, up until now, none of you have been able to reach such a realm. After the surrounding people heard this, their scalps went numb. Is there such a thing? My lord, please calm down. We will definitely work hard. The virtual immortals snorted and ignored them. Instead, he looked at Master Rashi and said, "Can you deduce which force it is? If it's an individual cultivator, we can let him join the Nirvana realm. If it's someone from the divine realm, then it will be troublesome." Master Rashi said, "According to the pattern on the turtle shell, the possibility of it being from the divine realm is very high. Therefore, this matter must be reported to the Grand Elder as soon as possible." After the virtual immortals heard this, his expression changed drastically. "I'll go with you." The two land immortals soared into the sky and flew into the distance, arriving at the place where the Grand Elder was cultivating. "Greetings, Grand Elder." The two land immortals were extremely terrifying existences among the great emperors. They had cultivated 3 strands of immortal chi. However, at this moment, when they met the Grand Elder, they had to be incomparably respectful. One could imagine how terrifying the Grand Elder was. "What's the matter?" The Grand Elder opened his eyes and woke up from his cultivation. In the next moment, when he saw Master Rashi, he was also delighted. "Oh, you've finally woken up?" He waved his sleeve and released endless immortal chi that enveloped Master Rashi's body. This immediately made Master Rashi's condition much better. "Thank you, Grand Elder." Master Rashi was also excited. He walked over and prostrated himself on the ground. He said, "Grand Elder, please take a look." The turtle's shell showed that someone in the universe was about to become a great emperor, and it was very likely that it was someone from the divine realm. It was the divine realm again. After the Grand Elder heard this, his brows furrowed tightly. The virtual immortals said, "Back then we fought with the divine realm and suffered a lot of injuries. Now we haven't fully recovered. Moreover, we don't know how many land immortals there are in the divine realm. Therefore, we didn't act rashly for the time being. Previously, the divine realm had been seizing the heavenly land. However, they only seized the ordinary ancient city. We didn't care. As long as the number of land immortals has recovered, we can completely crush them." But now, it seemed that the situation wasn't too good. This time, after the descent of the deity ground, the first person to become an emperor was actually someone from his side. It's probably not a good sign. Humph. After the Grand Elder heard this, he snorted coldly. "If I hadn't been careless back then and didn't make any preparations, I would have entered the 9 heavens and gotten injured. Otherwise, how could the divine realm be so arrogant?" The virtual immortals cupped his fists and said, "Those people from the divine realm combined are still no match for you, Grand Elder. Don't flatter me. Let me ask you, after so many years, has there been any news about the 10th land?" The virtual immortals sighed no. The 10th land is really too mysterious, as if it doesn't exist in the world. It must exist, and the 10th land is the path to the 9 heavens. Only by finding the 10th land can I enter the 9 heavens. Only then can I truly be immortal. Only then can I live as long as the heavens and the earth, and shine as brightly as the sun and the moon. After the virtual immortals and Master Rashi heard this, they fell silent. Back then, the Grand Elder was so terrifying. In their eternal land, he wanted to open the passage to the 9 heavens, but he failed. He even suffered a backlash. From then on, the divine realm rose. The divine realm took advantage of this opportunity to quickly attack and contend with them. Although they were defeated in the end, they were now making a comeback. "Go! Send more people to search for news of the 10th land. Don't let go of any clues. As for the first emperor in the universe, he must also be on our side. After all, this is a good sign. I will change the heavenly Tao and suppress it." Let the universe be unable to prove its Tao in a short period of time. Chapter 6008. Tai Di, Yi said coldly. Then he waved his hand. The heavenly punishment sword appeared in the sky, and red lightning gathered. Tai Di Yi was like the Lord of the universe at this moment. He seemed to have transformed into the heavenly Tao and changed the rules of heaven and earth. At this moment, countless claps of thunder sounded in the entire universe. Everyone looked up in horror. They could feel that heaven and earth seemed to have changed. There was a heavy force pressing down on their heads. Damn it, what's happening? Why did my cultivation speed suddenly slow down? Impossible. I was about to break through. Why can't I feel it now? Countless crazy voices could be heard. At this moment, even the monarch races and the 10,000 Archean races were roaring, crazily. They weren't the only ones. Even the deity ground was the same. The quasi-emperors in the deity ground also had ugly looks on their faces. Someone exclaimed, "Why? Why did the heavenly Tao change?" The people in the universe were even more desperate. Could it be that the heaven and earth spiritual chi had dried up, and they had reached the desolate era and were no longer suitable for cultivation? At this moment, everyone was stunned. Even Lin Xian's brows were tightly knitted together. He could feel that heaven and earth seemed to have formed shackles that shrouded them. It made his body and soul feel heavy. What's going on? Lin Xian frowned. It wasn't just him. The people of the Divine Union, Yi Qingyu and the great emperor clans were the same. In fact, even the martial monarchs who had woken up were frowning. The Bone Emperor gasped. It seemed like the heavenly Tao shackles had appeared. The Yellow Spring Emperor also exclaimed, "Is this the Permitha's doing?" They were indeed the Supreme Lords. The Supremes of the Supreme Hall also had ugly looks on their faces. He represented the heavenly Tao and transformed into the heavenly Tao. Are we really unable to fight against him? No matter how hard we try, we can't compare to the Permitha. At this moment, there was a trace of despair in their eyes. The powerhouses of the 18th level of Hell also felt it. For example, the Eagle tribe, the Molo tribe, and the Hydra tribe's patriarchs were terrified. What happened? Where is Lin Gongzi? Can you answer our questions? Ing Wufeng also came, but found that Lin Xian wasn't there. Only Xiajiao was there. Xiajiao's face was also extremely pale. He felt that the suppression of the heavenly Tao seemed to be targeting him this time. That was because the shackles on his body were abnormally heavy. They seemed to have completely sealed off his cultivation. Damn it, what's going on? The feeling from back then had actually returned. Back then, Xiajiao was extremely terrifying. At such a young age, he had extraordinary talent and cultivated to an extremely high level. In less than 10,000 years, he had hopes of becoming a martial emperor. However, the previous Grand Emperor had just died, and the heavenly Tao was suppressing him. In this world, no one was allowed to become a martial emperor. One had to wait for 10,000 years. There wasn't enough time, so Xiajiao didn't become a great emperor. Originally, they thought that this time the world would recover. Once he reached the Golden Age, he could use it to become a martial monarch. However, he did not expect that the feeling of despair from back then would come again. This time the suppression was even stronger than the previous time. It was 10 times stronger than before. This was definitely not a suppression that could be caused by the death of a great monarch. Who was it? Who was targeting him? Lin Xian met Murong Qingqing and Yan Ruyu in the Divine Union. At the same time, the two of them also felt the suppression. On top of that, the Phoenix tribe, the Yi family, the Gu family, and the Qilin tribe, as well as the living fossils and the Supreme Elders, had all come over to pass on the news. Lin Gongzi, the situation isn't good. The suppression of the heavenly Tao is slowing down everyone's cultivation and preventing them from breaking through. Was it that serious? Murong Qingqing and the others were shocked. What exactly was happening? On the other hand, Lin Xian's expression changed drastically. He didn't know anything else. However, there was one sentence that he had heard very clearly: suppression of cultivation, preventing a breakthrough. He had encountered such a situation before. In the beginning, his body had been sealed by the Black Lotus, and he had been unable to cultivate. Later on, he had been destroyed by the great dragon sword. Now, the heavenly Tao shackles had appeared, suppressing his cultivation and preventing him from breaking through. This was targeted at him. No, this was targeted at Xiajiao because Xiajiao was about to become a martial emperor. Was it done by Higgin? He looked up at the sky, his gaze piercing through the universe. That despicable Higgin had gone too far. Lin Xian was trembling with anger. Xiajiao was about to become a martial emperor. It was probably something that would happen in the next few years. Once Xiajiao became a martial emperor, they would have another powerful assistant on their side. More importantly, they could use this opportunity to open the 9th underworld. But now everything had changed. Xiajiao was suppressed by the heavenly Tao shackles and could not become a martial emperor. The 9th underworld could no longer be opened. All future plans would be interrupted. Lin Xian's expression was ugly. He said, "I know. I have to leave here. Qingcheng, Ryu, you two stay here first. When I summon you, you two come over." The two nodded. Lin Xian, on the other hand, tore apart the void and disappeared. He had returned to hell. Arriving at the 15th level of hell, Lin Xian returned to the Eagle tribe. He found that many elders and patriarchs of the tribe were waiting. Seeing Lin Xian return, they all bowed. "Greetings, Lin Gongzi." "Lin Gongzi, can you sense the suppression of the heavenly Tao?" Lin Xian said, "I have already sensed it. The heavenly Tao shackles are abnormally heavy." As for the reason, it was meaningless to say it, because this was done by the Permitha. What? The Permitha? After hearing this, these ancestors were in despair. The Permitha was so powerful that even martial emperors had to bow their heads in front of it. How could they resist? From the looks of it, their cultivation would be stuck at a standstill. I thought that in the golden era, I could go further and live for a few thousand more years. But now, it seemed that everything was in vain. Lin Xian ignored these people's sorrow. He went to the depths of the palace and saw Xiajiao. He said that he wanted to go downstairs. How did it feel? Xiajiao's expression was ugly. He smiled bitterly. "Maybe I'm not destined to become a martial emperor. I can feel that the shackles on my body are abnormally heavy." After hearing this, Lin Xian took a deep breath. He waved his hand and struck out the great dragon sword chi. He stood beside Xiajiao. "My great dragon sword spirit can cut through the void and destroy everything. Cut these shackles for me." The void around Xiajiao was cut into pieces. However, the heavy feeling on Xiajiao's body still didn't disappear. "I don't believe it," Lin Xian roared. He took out the great dragon sword spirit, held it with both hands, and swung it forward. With a boom, the great dragon sword spirit roared. A cage appeared on Xiajiao's body. It was like a shackle that locked him up. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian's expression changed drastically. As expected, it's targeting Xiajiao. "Cut it for me." He roared crazily. The great dragon sword spirit slashed on the shackles, and endless sparks erupted. But it was useless. "What's going on?" Lin Xian frowned. The great dragon said, "This is the power of the heavenly punishment sword, the complete heavenly punishment sword, and it's probably performed by the Permitha master. It's too terrifying. In my current state, I can't cut it. How can it be like this?" Lin Xian frowned tightly. He asked, "Is there no other way?" That Taishang was actually so terrifying. Can he manipulate the entire universe at will? Chapter 6009. Tai Di turned into the heavenly Tao and suppressed the entire universe, which shocked countless people. Lin Xian's face turned ugly. Was there really no other way? Dalong said. There was still a way. They could go to the heavenly land to break through. However, after the immortal ground descended, the first person in the universe to become a great emperor would have a special meaning. It would be a pity if they missed this opportunity. There was no other way. It seemed like they could only go to the heavenly land first. Lin Xian and the rest prepared to return. Xia Jiao nodded. The heavenly land was the second choice. They soared into the sky and left. However, when they returned to the immortal ground and wanted to enter the heavenly land, they discovered something. A long sword cut through the void and directly cut off the path to the heavenly land. Moreover, the aura on the long sword was extremely terrifying. It surpassed ordinary great emperors. What kind of aura was that? It was too terrifying. Lin Xian's face changed when he saw the sword. Dragon-slaying sword. This sword had once killed the dragon races, 10 Crown King, 100,000 years ago. In the end, it broke out of the ground and disappeared into the sky. This was the sword of an virtual immortal. Was it an earth immortal? Damn it, we can't go over. We might even be discovered by him. Let's go, let's leave. Lin Xian left with Xia Jiao. They had no choice. An earth immortal was a supreme existence who had cultivated 3 strands of immortal qi. He was an expert who was stronger than a demon emperor. Lin Xian and the rest couldn't resist at all. What should they do? Was there no chance? Xia Jiao was indignant. Lin Xian took a deep breath and said, "There's one more place. We can try." "Where?" Xia Jiao asked. Before Lin Xian could say anything, his face suddenly changed. He heard a call. "Grandpa, save me." It was the voice of his granddaughter, Xia Xingqian. Damn it, is the Xia family going to make a move? No, I have to go to the Xia family first. It was impossible for the orthodox path to become a great emperor in a short period of time. He had to save Xia Xingqian first. All right, let's go to the Xia family first. Lin Xian nodded his head in agreement. Getting Xia Xingqian out of the room would save him some trouble. If he wanted to see the Xia family, he would have to go to the clan. During this period of time, the large families in the 15th level of hell had gathered countless resources and information. One of the pieces of information was that the Fiend clan had a family backing them. Lin Xian and Xia Jiao arrived at the Fiend clan once again. The Fiends had already retreated because they weren't a match for Lin Xian. Yet now they had returned. That was because they had the support of the Xia family. The Xia family had sent someone over. This greatly boosted the Fiends' confidence, and they prepared to counterattack, so they immediately sent out a message. The people of the Xia clan brought a bell with Xia Xingqian's voice. After sending it to Xia Jiao, they said, "Don't worry, Xia Jiao will come over obediently very soon." Kneeling at our feet, they began to wait. Sure enough, before long, 2 figures appeared outside the Fiend clan. The people of the Fiend clan had already met Lin Xian, so they recognized him. The other was an old man with a sage-like demeanor. He should be the Xia Jiao that the Xia family was looking for. "Please come in." Yu Xianzi walked out dressed in black. She smiled at Lin Xian and Xia Jiao. Then she turned around and led the way. Lin Xian furrowed his brows. He was completely different from the last time they met. He couldn't wait to see what the Fiends were relying on. He and Xia Jiao left. "So it's Lin Gongzi. Please take a seat," the elder of the Fiend clan said with a smile. Their expressions were very calm, and the fear from before had long disappeared. Lin Xian said, "No need, let's get to the point. Send a message to the Xia clan and tell them to release the Xia family immediately. Otherwise, they will have to bear the consequences." Although Lin Xian's voice wasn't loud, it carried a domineering aura, as if no one could resist. This shocked the people of the Fiend clan. This guy knew about the Xia family. What was even more shocking was that he had actually come at the same time as the Xia family. Heavens, does he know what he's saying? The elders of the fiend clan were instantly enraged. In an instant, 9 elders walked out. They snorted coldly and released a terrifying dark aura. Each of them had a long black saber in their hands. They formed a saber array and enveloped Lin Xian. One of the elders said, "Young man, you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. The Xia family isn't something you can offend. Hurry up and apologize." "That's right. We let you be arrogant before. Do you really think we're afraid of you? Today we'll teach you a lesson." The 9 elders sneered. This time they were full of confidence and were about to attack. 9 dark sabers emitted a terrifying light and slashed toward Lin Xian. The people of the fiend clan around them laughed. In their opinion, the other party couldn't resist at all. But in the next moment, there was a rumbling sound, and the people around them widened their eyes. Then, their faces were filled with horror, because they realized that the 9 dark sabers had been shattered by the light of the sun. Then, the 9 elders turned into ashes. Are they dead? Yu Xianzi was stunned. The people of the fiend clan were also trembling in fear. What kind of method was this? The 9 elders had joined forces to form a peerless array, but they were killed in an instant. What did he do? His strength is too terrifying. He actually killed all of us. The others roared in anger. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "I wanted to spare your lives, but you don't know what's good for you. Since that's the case, I'll make you disappear from this world." Lin Xian struck out with his palm. The golden palm was like the hand of the fire god, crushing down in front of him. No, the people of the fiend clan were instantly turned into ashes. Yu Xianzi also roared in anger. Endless dark light gathered on her body like a black moon. There was a loud boom. The black moon was shattered. The dark power was turned into ashes. Yu Xianzi was also sent flying. Her body split open, and she spat out large mouthfuls of blood. "Is this all you've got? You've really disappointed me," Lin Xian said indifferently. "How can this be? I can't even block a single attack." Yu Xianzi was in complete despair. She was the #1 genius on the 15th level of hell. Her strength was even more terrifying than Princess Emoluo's. Only a few powerful clan leaders could match her on the 15th level, yet now he had actually been defeated. Furthermore, he had been utterly defeated. "Humph, do you know how stupid you are now?" Lin Xian asked with a smile as he turned to sit on the throne in the main hall. The people of the fiend clan were extremely silent. They were suppressed by a young man with one hand and couldn't even lift their heads. "Where's your clan leader? Tell him to come out. I want to ask him if he wants to live or die," Lin Xian shouted coldly. In the distance, a black statue appeared from the ground and floated in the void. Then a deep voice came from her body. "I am the clan leader of the fiend clan." Chapter 6010. So it's you. You're neither human nor ghost. No wonder the wandering tribe is so useless. Tell me, how are you going to withstand my anger? Lin Xian sneered. Boy, you're too arrogant. You're no longer qualified to challenge the Nether tribe because our trump card is here. After saying that, the dark power on his body became even more terrifying, as if he had opened the door to hell. Boundless laws condensed, causing the whole world to tremble. The Nether tribe members were shocked. Their patriarch's strength was even more terrifying than before. Even Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He could feel that the laws on the patriarch's body were very strong. It was far stronger than the other elders. How is it? Boy, do you feel it? The power on my body has definitely surpassed the aura of hell. The patriarch of the Nether tribe threw his head back and laughed. Are you shocked? Are you afraid? Humph! Do you really think you can compete with us? Why don't you think about the supreme existence behind us? As soon as he finished speaking, the patriarch of the Nether tribe attacked. His statue-like palm slapped out toward Lin Xian. This palm was extremely terrifying, bringing with it endless dark light. It swept over like a vast sea. The surrounding void kept shattering. This little power was pitifully weak. Lin Xian sneered and waved his sleeve. Endless divine fire flew out, piercing through the world and tearing the giant hand to shreds. Then the endless flames hit the statue, and the statue flew backward. It was covered with cracks, and many stones fell from it. Ah! A miserable cry came back, making people's scalps tingle. The people of the Nether clan were stupefied by this scene. Their patriarch was injured, and severely injured at that. This was impossible. The Nether tribe members roared crazily. Yu Xianzi's face was pale. Even their patriarch was no match for them. At this time, Lin Xian stood up and said in a deep voice, there was no need for the Nether tribe to exist anymore. The divine fire on his body became even more terrifying, as if he had turned into a sun god. Feeling this aura, everyone in the Nether tribe despaired. Even the patriarch of the Nether tribe was terrified. Impossible! How can you be so strong? Ignorant ant! Lin Xian sneered and threw a punch. Patriarch! Quick! Borrow the strength of the Xia clan. At this critical moment, Fairy Yu shouted. The clan leader nodded his head in agreement. The high and mighty Xia clan, please bestow upon me strength. As his voice fell, a void door seemed to open behind him, and an extremely terrifying black aura enveloped her. In the next moment, the statue's speed increased by several times, and it dodged in an instant. Boom! The void where he was originally standing shattered, and he appeared on the other side. The power on his body condensed into a black armor, and a terrifying and powerful aura enveloped the entire area. His strength was actually twice as strong as before. Great! The power of the Xia family has appeared. Fairy Yu heaved a sigh of relief when she saw this. The Fiend clan cultivators laughed proudly. Brat, let's see how you die this time. Clan leader, please capture him. Pull out his tendons, skin him alive, and make him wish he was dead. So what if you're strong? So what if you've suppressed the other great clans? So what if you're Lin Wudi? In the face of the power of the Xia clan, everything would be reduced to ashes. Brat die! The clan leader roared to the sky after obtaining the power of the Xia clan. Then he formed a seal with his palm and slammed it down. At this moment, his entire body was covered in armor, and his black palm was covered in a black metal that emitted a cold light. This was the power of the Xia clan. The palm stopped when it was 1 meter away from Lin Xian, unable to advance any further. This stunned the Fiend clan warriors. What's going on? Why isn't the clan leader attacking? Even Yu Xianzi was stunned, while the Nether clan leader broke out in a cold sweat. How could this be? He sensed that there seemed to be a powerful force blocking everything around Lin Xian. His palm could not advance any further. Damn it, I don't believe it. Destroy him for me. He struck out with both palms. But in the next moment, his palm was actually broken by the rebounding force. A powerful sword, Qi, rushed out of Lin Xian's body and sent him flying. The black armor on his body shattered into pieces and scattered all over the ground. The clan leader's body shattered into pieces, and his statue shattered. His soul turned into a ball of black flames that danced in the air. Impossible! He let out the most terrified scream. What's going on? He had obtained the power of the Xia clan, so why couldn't he defeat his opponent? Fairy Yu and the others were so frightened by this scene that they fell to their knees. The clan leader was seriously injured. Heavens, who could explain this to them? Why did this happen? Everyone was dumbfounded. Boom! Lin Xian struck out with the 9 Suns' divine palm, shattering the Fiend clan leader into pieces. At this moment, the clan leader's soul was completely destroyed, and he could no longer be revived. No, the Fiend clan warriors cried until they fainted. Had their clan leader died? Fairy Yu was also dumbfounded. Lin Xian said coldly, Xia clan, come out. I can sense your arrival. Humph, brat, you're really arrogant. How dare you kill the subordinate I chose? Tell me, how do you want to die? Two ice-cold voices rang out from the void, shocking everyone. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The Fiend clan leader was actually the subordinate of the other party. Judging from their tone, they were indeed from the Xia clan. Xia Juyo's expression became extremely serious. He said, Lin Gongzi, it's them. I can sense their bloodline. Juyo's bloodline. It was indeed them. Lin Xian turned to look at the two of them. One was a middle-aged man and the other was a young man. They were both wearing black armor, and their auras were similar to the ones from before. However, they were much stronger than the Fiend clan leader. You're from the Xia clan? Lin Xian asked. The young man opposite him said, Brat, you really don't know what's good for you. Since you know we're from the Xia clan, why don't you kneel and kowtow to us? If you can make me happy, I might leave your corpse intact. You? Lin Xian sneered. You're not qualified to say that. The two of you can come at me together. What did you say? Are you looking down on me? The young man was completely enraged. Die! He snorted and slapped out the 9 underworld seal. The black seal carried an unfathomable aura. It was as if it could swallow mountains and rivers. With a raise of his hand, it flew forward. Everywhere it passed, mountains collapsed and the earth cracked. The Fiend clan members were both frightened and excited. This is great. This power is definitely enough to kill the other party. Lin Xian sneered and waved his hand. A ray of sword qi flew out and slashed forward. A huge crack appeared in the void, and in the next moment, it collided with the 9 underworld seal. An earth-shattering sound rang out. The entire sky shattered like a mirror, and an endless black hole appeared. The 9 underworld seal was split into 2. Not only that, the young man opposite him screamed as he was split apart by the sword. Chapter 6011. What's so great about the Xia family? In my opinion, they're just SOSO. Lin Xian waved his hand and suppressed the 2 halves of the body. The armored youth screamed in agony. Uncle, save me. The middle-aged man's expression changed. Damn brat, you dare to let him go? To be honest, he was going crazy. The young man he brought with him was one of the top geniuses of the Xia family. In his opinion, the people in the 15th level of hell were trash. The 2 of them were enough to sweep them all away. However, he didn't expect such a powerful young man to appear. In the next instant, he stared at Xia Juyo. He said, You're also a member of the Xia family. Tell your friend to stop. Otherwise, you know the consequences. Xia Juyo shook his head silently. Then he said, Lin Gongzi's strength isn't something you can fight against. Seeing that we're from the same family, I'll give you a piece of advice. Surrender. Let go of my granddaughter, and you'll be fine. Otherwise, the family will suffer great losses. The middle-aged man was going crazy. What did he say? The Xia family will suffer great losses? Just because of this young man? What a joke. You're Xia Juyo, right? Although I've never seen you before, I've heard of your story. You're very pitiful, and I sympathize with you. However, sacrificing yourself for the family is nothing. So, follow me back to the family obediently. The family needs you now. Shameless. Xia Juyo was furious. Sacrificing himself was nothing, but why? Could it be that his life was not a life? Lin Xian also said, I'll give Xia Juyo face and give you one last chance. Kneel down and submit. Let go of Xia Xingchen. Otherwise, the Xia family is finished. Stupid thing, you've challenged the Xia family time and time again. I think you don't want to live anymore. Today, I'll let you know the strength of the Xia family. The middle-aged man walked out, a terrifying aura erupting from his body. Terrifying black laws rushed into the 9 heavens. The terrifying power was earth-shattering. This person's strength was very strong. He had long surpassed the 9-crown king. He was almost a great emperor. Feeling this aura, the entire 15th level of hell collapsed. The elders and patriarchs of the top families felt their scalps go numb. Heavens! What kind of aura was this? An exceptional expert had descended. Did you feel it? This is my power. I am only one step away from becoming a great emperor. Is that so? In that case, you're still far inferior to the great emperor, but I'm different. I once killed a great emperor. Moreover, there's more than one. Do you think you can be compared to me? After hearing this, the surrounding people were stunned. The middle-aged man was stunned as well. Lin Fan had killed more than one great emperor? What kind of joke was that? Just you? Who do you think you are? The Xia family. He lived in the 16th level of hell all year round and did not care about the outside world. Therefore, he had never seen Lin Xian before. Hearing such arrogant words, the middle-aged man burst into laughter. It was as if he was looking at an idiot. Lin Xian stepped forward, releasing his aura as he said, "Then I'll let you experience what it means to have someone stronger than you." Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body blossomed with an extremely resplendent radiance. 9 suns revolved between heaven and earth. 10 crown kings' power swept out. At this moment, the 15th level of hell was completely suppressed. Everyone was prostrating on the ground. Even the patriarchs of the family clans trembled and knelt on the ground. Ying Wufeng also sucked in a cold breath. He said, "This is Lin Gongzi's power." Lin Gongzi was furious. Someone was going to be unlucky. After hearing this, the patriarch of the eagle race almost fainted. Was this Lin Gongzi's true power? It was too terrifying. Only now did she know how terrifying the young man living in their home was. This time, the situation was really bad. So what if the fiend race had the Xia family behind them? Could they really contend with Lin Gongzi? The armored fiend's eyes widened, and his whole body trembled. It was as if he had seen the most unbelievable thing. This was impossible. Your 10-crown king? He was crazy. 10-crown king had already surpassed him. His power was comparable to a great emperor. His opponent was actually 10-crown king, and his power was so strong that it seemed to counter him. This was the legendary 9-yang divine body. Who are you? Who exactly are you? He roared crazily. If 10-crown king really was 10-crown king, he might really be able to contend with a great emperor. Lin Xian said indifferently, "You're stupid. You haven't even heard of my name. Listen carefully. I'm Lin Wudi." "What? You're Lin Wudi?" The middle-aged man was completely stunned. Although the Xia family didn't care about the outside world, some major events had happened recently. They still knew about them. For example, the descent of the deity land, the awakening of the deity land, and the Permitha and Paragon halls. They all knew about such existences. At the same time, they also knew that a young man had appeared in the universe. He was extremely terrifying and had swept across the world with his title of invincibility. He had even killed a great emperor of the Permitha continent. This young man in front of them was the legendary invincible genius. She was completely stupefied. He had been pretending not to care about this young man, but now he was nothing more than an ant in front of him. If this young man wanted to kill him, it would be as easy as flipping his hand. He said in fear, "So it was the invincible young Master Lin. I offended you before, and I apologize to you here." At this moment, even the arrogant experts of the Xia family had to bow their heads. Below, the people of the Serene family were stunned. Even the Xia family didn't dare to be arrogant. Lin Xian smiled. "You've bowed your head? If you knew this would happen, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. Tell your family that if you let Xia Xingqin go now, I'll spare your lives." The middle-aged man shook his head. "No, young Master Lin. I know that your talent is unparalleled and you are a top-notch genius. You have the potential to become a great emperor in the future. However, you shouldn't get involved in this matter. The strength of the Xia family isn't something you can imagine. We're not from the universe. We're from the mysterious Juyo lands. That place isn't something you can imagine. If you offend the Xia family, I'm afraid you'll die. I'm just an ordinary member of the Xia family, so I advise you to stop. Let Xia Juyo go back with me. After this, I'll send you a gift to thank you. Lin Xian sighed. I've said so much, but you're still stubborn. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being impolite. It's over. After speaking, Lin Xian raised a finger and attacked. Feeling this power, the middle-aged man's hair stood on end. He roared, Lin Wudi, don't you go too far. I may not be your opponent, but if I want to escape, you can't stop me. You're too reckless. When I return to my family, I'll have the strongest experts of my family come and suppress you. After speaking, the middle-aged man tore open the void and tried to escape. At this moment, Lin Xian sent out a ray of sword qi. It cut through the void like a golden lightning bolt. Lin Xian performed the 9-yang sword technique with his fingers, splitting the world apart with a single slash. The middle-aged man's body was split into 2 halves. Impossible. His soul tried to escape, but it was still destroyed by the sharpness of the sword qi. Until his death, he refused to believe that Lin Xian could kill him with a single finger. Chapter 6012. Dead. The surrounding people were dumbfounded. Such a terrifying expert from the Xia family was close to the great emperor realm. Yet he had been killed in seconds. They could not accept this. How dare you kill my uncle? You're dead meat. The Xia family will not let you off. On the other side, the young man who was suppressed by the Xia family roared. Lin Xian turned around and said, It's your turn. He punched out. The armored young man was killed. Yu Xianzi, and the rest fell to their knees. Another one had died. 2 of the Xia family's experts had fallen. It was over. They had poked a hornet's nest. Given the Xia family's strength and status, they would not let this matter rest. At the 16th level of hell, the Xia family was enraged when they learned that the 2 people who had gone there had died. An elder let out a crazy roar. Who in hell would be so reckless? How dare he kill a member of the Xia family? Go, kill him and destroy his soul. The Xia family was not to be challenged in hell. Now that someone had slapped them in the face, they had to kill the other party at all costs. The great elder even ordered the 9 nether soul to be sent. Was he going to activate that thing? The Xia family was shocked. Then they laughed coldly. Once the 9 nether soul was activated, the other party would definitely die. There was an ancient altar in the Xia family. A black aura flew out from it and condensed into a black shadow. It was the 9 nether soul. Its aura was so terrifying that it could crush all the worlds. Its aura had reached the supreme realm. Go and kill the enemy. The 9 nether soul tore through the void and headed for the 15th level of hell. Boom! The place where the nether family was at was still filled with blood. Everyone was still in a daze. Suddenly, the void shattered and the terrifying 9 nether laws spread out. An extremely terrifying pressure swept out. An earth-shattering sound rang out. The nether family members were so frightened that they fell to their knees. What was this? Yu Xianzi exclaimed. This was the Xia family's method. Could it be the legendary 9 nether soul? What? The elders were shocked as well. The 9 underworld spirit only existed in legends. This was an existence that definitely surpassed the 9 crown king. Even Xia Juyo frowned. He said, Lin Gongzi, be careful. The 9 underworld's soul is terrifying. It's a secret technique of the Xia clan. Oh, really? Lin Xian raised his head and looked ahead. Sure enough, he found a black soul with a gloomy and cold aura. Who dares to kill a member of my Xia family? The 9 netherworld's soul shouted coldly after coming out. It's me. Do you have a problem with that? Lin Xian said in a deep voice. The 9 Serenities' soul immediately stared at the young man in front of him. It's you? Get over here and accept your death. Otherwise, I'll destroy all of your souls. The monstrous aura that the 9 underworld soul emitted had already reached the level of a supreme being. Fairy Yu and the others were on the verge of despair. It was too terrifying. This kind of power had completely surpassed the previous 2 people. It was not something they could resist. Just you? I don't care about a mere supreme being. Does your Xia family only have such an expert? What? Fairy Yu and the others were dumbfounded. Is he not afraid of a supreme being? How is this possible? How heaven-defying is this Lin Wudi? How dare you look down on me? Go to hell. The 9 Nether Soul was furious. He could not tolerate being challenged by a young man. He quickly rushed over, and the soul power on his body covered the sky and ground, crushing down. Lin Xian stood there and snorted. The dragon's soul in his body roared, and the dragon-shaped sword aura on his body soared into the sky. It was as if it was going to tear the universe apart. Boom! The 9 Nether Soul was shocked when he felt the terrifying soul aura. He stopped in midair, bewildered. What was that sound? Are you from the Dragon Clan? Lin Xian smiled. He waved his hand, and the dragon-shaped sword aura flew out. The power of the great dragon sword soul continued to spread. He wondered if a mere soul could still survive after being destroyed by this sword. Lin Xian gently waved his sword, and the void shattered. On the other side, the 9 Nether Soul was dumbfounded. This sword aura? This aura. This was the power of the great dragon sword. Heavens! The great dragon sword appeared again. The horrifying 9 Nether Soul shouted in horror. In the next moment, all the power in her body disappeared, and she knelt on the ground. Greetings, Lord Dragon Sword. This scene left Yixinzi and the others completely dumbfounded. What did he just see? A supreme being, level expert, was actually kneeling now. And she was kneeling in front of Lin Xian. What was going on? Even the supreme being could not be compared to this young man? Impossible. In the distance, there was a man from the Xia family. He held a black gourd in his hand. This time he came with the 9 Nether Soul. Her name was Xia Tian. He had been hiding in the dark and did not make a move. But when he saw this scene, his eyes almost popped out. The high and mighty 9 Nether Soul of their family was kneeling. Even Xiajiao was stunned. To be honest, he had thought that there would be a huge battle. But who would have thought that the 9 Nether Soul would be so cowardly? Was this the power of the great dragon sword? Lin Xian was also stunned. The 9 Nether Soul knew the great dragon sword and was afraid of it. Wasn't it very powerful before? Lin Xian looked ahead and sneered. The 9 Nether Soul shook her head frantically. I was wrong. I didn't know that you were the successor of the dragon sword. If I had known, I wouldn't have dared to do it, even if I had 100 guts. Where is Lord Dragon's sword now? Send my regards to him. The 9 Nether Soul's voice was trembling. Why? Summer, who was at the back, was completely stunned. The 9 Nether Soul said that the 9 Nether Realm had opened once a million years ago. At that time, a great Emperor Level 9 Nether Soul had come out and headed to the universe. We had wanted to show off our skills. But in the sky, a dragon's sword streaked across and killed the great Emperor Level 9 Nether Soul. Her soul was destroyed. At that time, there were many experts from the Xia family following the great Emperor Level 9 Nether Soul. When they saw this scene, they all went crazy. Later, we found out that the sword was the great dragon sword. What? A sword light killed a great emperor. Xia Tian was dumbfounded. The people from the Nether clan were even more stunned. What kind of divine sword was this? A great emperor was like cutting vegetables. It was too unbelievable. Even Lin Xian was stunned. Previously, he had always thought that the great dragon sword was on par with an extreme grade weapon. But now, it seemed that was not the case at all. An extreme grade weapon could not easily kill a great emperor, but the great dragon sword seemed to be able to. He asked through voice transmission, "Great Dragon, have you killed the 9 Nether Soul back then?" Great Dragon said that there was an earth-shattering battle 1,000,000 years ago. At that time, there were countless experts, and there were even several Earth immortals. I've killed quite a few great emperors. The 9 Nether Soul was probably too weak for me to remember. Lin Xian was speechless after hearing this. Great emperors were weak. To be honest, he didn't dare to say such a thing now. Although he could kill great emperors, it was not easy every time. He had to go all out. However, Great Dragon said it so casually. How terrifying was the Great Dragon sword at its peak back then? Chapter 6013. The submission of the 9 Nether Soul left everyone dumbfounded. Summer, who was behind him, also roared crazily. How could it be like this? Ancestor, you are the 9 Nether Soul. Can't you defeat him? Even if he had the Great Dragon sword, his cultivation was still too weak. And the Great Dragon sword should have been destroyed in the battle back then. He doesn't have the power of his peak anymore. Kill him. Hearing this, those who were humorous all looked up at the 9 Nether Soul. Even the 9 Nether Soul was moved. Lin Xian laughed when he heard that. No more power from back then? Are you sure? Lin Xian waved his hand and released the Great Dragon Sword Soul. The terrifying dragon-shaped sword shadow circled around. A shocking sword energy swept across. The 9 Nether Soul trembled in fear. It was this aura. Although it was the first time he saw the Great Dragon Sword Soul, this terrifying aura made him tremble in fear. He said, "Young master, please spare my life. I won't dare to attack you again." Really? Then what are you going to do if he provokes me? Lin Xian looked at the 9 Nether Soul and said, "Young master, you must kill him. If he dares to challenge the young master, he will definitely die. I will personally kill him." With that, the 9 Nether Soul turned around and looked at Summer. "Today I will clean up the house." With that, the 9 Nether Soul slapped out. "Ancestor, you can't do this to me. Damn it, Black Gourd, search him." Summer roared crazily. He activated the black gourd in his hand, trying to capture the 9 Nether Soul. The 9 Nether Soul sneered, "I live in the black gourd all year round, but I'm not someone an ant like you can capture." As soon as he finished speaking, his palm enveloped Summer and turned her into ashes. The 9 Nether Soul waved his hand and grabbed the black gourd. Then he said, "Young master, I have killed the person who offended you. Are you satisfied?" The surrounding people were completely dumbfounded when they saw the scene. The 9 Nether Soul killed a member of the Xia family. Was it all because of Lin Xian's words? It was unbelievable. Lin Xian said, "I don't care about an ant, but now I have one more thing for you to do. If you do this, I can spare your life." After hearing that, the 9 Nether Soul said, "What is it? Just tell me." Blade Mountain Flame, Sea, Guild would not hesitate. Lin Xian said, "It's simple. Take me back to the Xia family." "Young master wants to go to the Xia family?" The 9 Serenity's soul was stunned. Was the other party walking right into a trap? However, his heart skipped a beat when he saw Xiajiao. Perhaps there were other reasons. "What? You don't want to?" Lin Xian waved the dragon-shaped sword in his hand. An earth-shattering power appeared. The 9 Nether Soul hurriedly shook his head. "No, I'll bring the young master back to my family." On the 16th floor of Hell, the people of the Xia family were also stunned. Xia's soul jade pendant had shattered. Summer is dead. How is this possible? Summer had followed the 9 Nether Soul. The 9 Nether Soul was a supreme being, and it could even fight against a great emperor. How could he let Summer fall? Damn it, what the hell happened? Everyone from the Xia clan was dumbfounded. Where was the 9 Nether Spirit now? What was going on? Who was the enemy? Countless voices of discussion could be heard. However, at this moment, the void above the Xia clan shattered and countless cracks appeared. Soon after, a huge vortex was formed, and a terrifying aura rushed out from the vortex. The people of the Xia clan raised their heads in horror. Someone is attacking? Who dares to behave atrociously in the Xia clan? Are you courting death? Many experts leaped into the sky. In the next moment, they fell back. They were stunned. They realized that the 9 Nether Soul had returned. Many of the Xia clan heaved a sigh of relief. Great, the 9 Nether Soul was safe and sound. This made them feel relieved. However, they soon cried out in alarm. No, there were still people on the 9 Nether Soul. They realized that there were 2 figures standing on the 9 Nether Soul. Was the 9 Nether Soul being used as a mount? Heavens, who are these 2 people? They are too arrogant. Are they stepping on the Xia clan's head? Countless experts looked carefully and realized that one of the 2 people was a young man. He had a handsome face, but he looked unfamiliar. The other was an old man with white hair and an air of immortality. Although they did not recognize him, they could sense the bloodline of the 9 Nether Soul on him. He was from the Xia clan. Furthermore, to be able to come here, could it be Xiajiao? It was indeed him. Immediately, someone snorted. Xiajiao, did you come back to apologize to the clan? Come over and kneel on the ground to await the punishment of the clan. A cold voice sounded. They did not seem to put Xiajiao in their eyes. In the sky, Xiajiao's expression was cold. He was searching for the whereabouts of Xia Xingqian. Lin Xian said to teach them a lesson. Yes, I know. The 9 Nether Soul under his feet quickly attacked. A huge palm came crashing down from the sky. The arrogant experts of the Xia clan were all sent flying. Some were torn into pieces, and some were vomiting blood. As for the palaces of the villa below, they were all collapsing. No, many people turned into a bloody mist in this attack. More miserable cries could be heard. Why did this happen? Isn't the 9 Nether Soul our power? Why did he attack the clan? Damn it, who can tell me what happened? Why did he attack us? Could it be that the 9 Nether Soul is being controlled by someone? Countless angry roars could be heard. The elders of the Xia clan were also going crazy. The 9 Nether Soul was at the supremacy level. Who could control such an existence? Quickly, invite the clan leader over. Soon, a middle-aged man walked over. He was the current clan leader of the Xia clan. After he arrived, he took out a token that had the radiance of the 9 Nether Soul. He said, 9 Nether Soul, are you betraying the clan? Do you want to be chased by the clan forever, like Xiajiao? A cold voice sounded. At the same time, he waved his hand and a world cage appeared. Inside the cage was a girl. Her eyes were as bright as the stars, and she was very beautiful. She was Xiajiao's granddaughter, Xia Xingqian. Xiajiao, do you think you can fight against the clan just by teaming up with the 9 Nether Soul? You're too stupid. Kneel down now, or I'll destroy your granddaughter's soul. Xingqian. Xiajiao's expression changed. Xia Xingqian also shouted, Grandpa, be careful. Leave quickly. The Xia clan is very powerful. After being suppressed for a few days, Xia Xingqian understood the strength of the Xia clan. They were unfathomable. No matter how strong her grandpa was, he wouldn't be able to resist them. The 9 Nether Soul said, Clan leader, surrender. You're no match for Lin Gongzi. Don't go against Lin Gongzi, or the Xia clan will be destroyed. When they heard this, the Xia clan went crazy. Someone could destroy their clan? What a joke. 9 Nether Soul, is your soul being controlled? What Lin Gongzi? Who does he think he is? The clan leader also said coldly, I'll give you one last chance. As he said that, he grabbed Xia Xingqian with one hand. If he used any strength, Xia Xingqian's soul would be destroyed. Chapter 6014. Xia Xingqian felt the threat of death. Xia Jiuyo's face also changed. Lin Xian walked out and said, Elder Xia, don't worry. I'll kill him. With a wave of his hand, the great dragon sword spirit appeared and slashed forward. With one slash, the sky fell and the earth cracked. The people of the Xia family were stunned. What kind of sword was this? Countless people couldn't help but feel their souls tremble and want to kneel on the ground. What was this? The face of the Xia family's leader changed. At first, he looked disdainful. How could a strange young man be compared to him? However, when he felt the sword, he was completely stunned. This person was too strong. He roared to the sky, Jiuyo hell! 9 chains appeared on his arm. They were extremely black and emitted a shocking aura. The 9 chains were able to bind everything. He wanted to bind the sword Qi. However, he underestimated Lin Xian. The attack of the great dragon sword was not something he could withstand. After one slash, he was cut in half. Ah, I can't accept this. The leader of the Xia family only had time to let out a scream before his soul was destroyed. He was dead. The elders of the Xia clan were dumbfounded. Their clan leader had died just like that? That's impossible. Who is this brat? With a wave of his sleeve, Lin Xian tore the cage apart and brought Xia Xingqian to his side. He said, Don't worry. From now on, no one can save you. You are Lin Xian. Xia Xingqian was shocked. She didn't expect Lin Xian to be so powerful now. Grandpa, I'm fine. Xia Xingqian looked at Xia Jiuyo and said. Xia Jiuyo's eyes turned red. Lin Gongzi, thank you so much. If it wasn't for Lin Xian, it would be difficult for him to save Xia Xingqian. Elder Xia, you don't have to be so polite with me. Xingqian is also my sister. By the way, how do you plan to deal with the Xia family? Lin Xian looked down. The light of reincarnation appeared in his eyes. The members of the Xia family were enveloped by this gaze. Instantly, their bodies trembled. Was the other party's eyes also so terrifying? Lin Xian descended with Xia Jiuyo and Xia Xingqian. After that, Lin Xian said, Xia family, tell me, how do you plan to appease my anger? Who are you? The great elder walked out with a malevolent expression on his face. Their clan leader had died in the hands of this man. However, they actually didn't dare to make a move now. That was because the sword strike from before had truly stunned all of them. Our Xia clan has an extraordinary background. You can't afford to offend us. The third elder walked out and shouted coldly. In the end, Lin Xian glared at him. 6 paths of reincarnation. The third elder's soul turned into ashes. He was dead. Everyone was horrified, killing an elder with a single glance. What kind of power was this? The 9 nether soul also said, Idiot, hurry up and apologize to Lin Gongzi. If not, your family will really be destroyed. Shut your mouth. The great elder roared crazily, You have no right to lecture us. You betrayed the family. Do you think you're the only 9 nether soul in the Xia family? Just you wait. You will regret this. Please, old ancestor. The great elder knelt down in the distance. The other members of the Xia family also knelt down one after another. Ancestor, please help. Their voices were loud and solemn, spreading far and wide. In the next moment, there was the sound of chains being unlocked. Ghostly wails and howls resounded between heaven and earth as if the gates of hell had been opened. A gust of chilly wind swept across the entire world. The bodies of the people below trembled. Xia Jiuyo's expression was also solemn. Not good. Young master, be careful. The Xia family's background is indeed extraordinary. He also came from this family, so he naturally knew how terrifying the Xia family was. Who is it? It's calling me. A low voice sounded. Suddenly, the sky fell and the earth cracked. Many phantoms of white bones appeared in the surroundings. The great elder fell to the ground and said, Ancestor, please calm down. The Xia family is in a life and death crisis. We have no choice but to summon you. Our clan leader has fallen. The enemy is very strong. Please help us. Who is it? How dare you come to the Xia family and behave so atrociously? In the next moment, the sound of footsteps was heard. Heaven and earth shattered. It was as if a ghost god walked out from inside. With his appearance, a terrifying aura swept across every corner of the sky. The members of the Xia family felt the suppression of their bloodline. Xia Juyo's expression changed drastically. This person is very terrifying. It's that person from back then. His eyes instantly turned red. Back then, he wanted to prove his Tao and become a great emperor. He had once returned to the Xia family and asked for help. However, the Shi family refused. In the end, they fell out. Someone had once chased after him and injured him. He even almost died back then. Back then, there was an old man who struck out with a palm in the air and seriously injured him. Now, that person has come out again. Great Elder, it's him. It's this kid. He killed the clan leader. And Xiajiao, do you remember? The traitor of the family. He's back. Ancestor, please help us suppress him. Xiajiao, I remember him. He has the Jiao body. His destiny is to sacrifice for the family. However, he dared to escape and betray the family. I won't let him go. He was lucky last time. This time it's time for him to die. The cold voice sounded again. A tall figure walked out. Greetings, Ancestor. The Great Elder and the others kowtowed. Then they stared at Lin Xian and said, Kid, you're dead. No matter how strong you are, you'll definitely die. Even a great emperor can't do it. They seemed to be able to see the scene of Lin Xian's death. They sneered at Xiajiao. Traitor, you'll regret it. A silhouette appeared in front of them. This silhouette looked very young, but it was actually an extremely terrifying old monster. His long black hair hung to the ground. There were black tattoos on his body. His eyes were like black whirlpools. He looked as if he had walked out of the 9th level of hell. He was extremely powerful. In the next moment, he stared at Lin Xian and Xiajiao. He shouted coldly, Ants die. His palm slammed forward. The void shattered like glass. It couldn't withstand it at all. So strong. This was a great emperor's family. It was indeed extraordinary. There was a great emperor sleeping in the 17th level of hell. Facing such a terrifying punch, Lin Xian roared, 9 yon divine body. The golden palm was brighter than the sun. It pushed forward. The two collided, and an earth-shattering sound erupted. The surrounding people were all sent flying, vomiting blood. The Great Elder and the others were shocked. How could it be? He actually blocked the ancestors' attack. I don't believe it. Could he be a martial monarch too? What ancestor? You're just S.O. Lin Xian retracted his palm and said coldly. In front, the black-haired ancestor was dumbfounded. You actually have the combat strength of a great emperor. No wonder you're so arrogant. However, the Xia family isn't something you can challenge. Today, I'll show you the terror of the Xia family. Old man, come out too, the black-haired ancestor said to the distance. In the next instant, a sinister chuckle sounded. Following that, a terrifying burst of energy burst forth once more. Another martial monarch had awakened. It was the previous clan leader. Old clan leader, it's great that you're here. Even the old patriarch had woken up. That brat was definitely dead. So what if he's a great emperor? He's definitely no match for the Xia family. Chapter 6015. Big Brother Lin is in danger. Xia Xingchen was extremely nervous. Xia Jiao also took a deep breath. It looked like he was about to make a move. He said, Lin Gongzi, I'll join forces with you. Xia Jiao had the 9 netherworld body and was also a 10-crown king. He also had the battle strength of a great emperor. With a loud boom, the world was torn apart and an old man walked out from it. The elder was as withered as a zombie, but the power in his body was extremely terrifying. After he came out, he stared at 9 Netherworld Soul. He said, "What are you waiting for?" 9 Netherworld Soul was also shocked. He didn't expect that 2 great emperors would awaken this time. However, he still didn't go over because he knew that Lin Xian was even more terrifying. Lin Xian was the successor of the Great Dragon Sword. The Great Dragon Sword was something that the Xia family was very afraid of. He said, "Don't go against him. His identity is not ordinary." However, the previous patriarch sneered, "What identity? Do you think you can scare me?" The black-haired patriarch also said, "You're too stupid. No wonder you can't become a great emperor. Cowards don't have the right to be righteous. Come, let's attack together and suppress the 2 of them as quickly as possible." The 2 great emperors walked towards Lin Xian. Xiaojio took a deep breath and was about to attack with a roar. However, at this moment, a dragon's roar sounded from within his body. Then, thousands of dragons' sword qi rushed out of his body. At this moment, he seemed to have turned into a dragon god. The sword qi rushed into the sky. What was this? The 2 patriarchs stopped. They felt a sense of horror. In the next moment, they looked towards Lin Xian. In an instant, they saw that there seemed to be a sword beside Lin Xian. It was a long sword with a dragon's head. The aura on it was too sharp. It seemed to be able to split their bodies. The sword light flashed and formed countless dragons, baring their fangs and brandishing their claws. In the next moment, the 2 of them cried out, "What is this sword qi? Damn it! Why is it so similar to the sword light from 1,000,000 years ago? No way! Is that the Great Dragon Sword? No! How could the Great Dragon Sword appear in the Xia family?" At this moment, both patriarchs had gone mad. They were all great emperors, so they naturally knew what had happened 1,000,000 years ago. Back then, the most talented great emperor of their family had appeared out of nowhere and headed to the universe. In the end, he was killed by a single sword strike. His heart and soul were destroyed, and he didn't even have the chance to escape. That sword was none other than the legendary Great Dragon Sword. Now that the Great Dragon Sword had appeared again, how could they not be shocked? He was actually the owner of the Great Dragon Sword. The 2 great Emperor Realm old ancestors retreated in fear. This scene made the people of the Xia family go crazy. "Patriarch, what's going on?" "Make your move." "That's right." "Ancestor, the 2 of them are no match for you." "Ancestor, please make a move." However, no matter how the first elder and the others shouted, the 2 old ancestors did not dare to step forward. Instead, he looked as if he had seen a ghost. As expected, seeing the scene, the 9 Netherworlds soul sighed. It seemed that the other party had also recognized the Great Dragon Sword. Lin Xian said, "Why aren't you fighting?" "In fact, I'm looking forward to fighting with you." The face of the previous generation's patriarch was ugly. He gritted his teeth and said, "What was that sword phantom just now? Was it the Great Dragon Sword?" "Yes, it's the Great Dragon Sword you imagined." "How about it? Do you want to feel its sharpness?" Lin Xian asked with a smile. It really was. The previous generation's patriarch's hair stood on end. The black-haired patriarch's face also changed drastically. "You are the successor of the Great Dragon Sword. How did the Xia family offend you?" He was going crazy. These ignorant clansmen dared to offend the successor of the Great Dragon Sword. Are they trying to kill us? Thinking of this, he grabbed the first elder and slapped him a few times, turning the first elder's head into a pig's head. Then he said, "Tell me, what's going on? Who asked you to offend him? You want to kill me?" The first elder was stunned. He was beaten until he screamed, "Patriarch, please spare me. Is he very powerful? He came to us first. How dare you still be stubborn? Apologize to me." The great elder was beaten to the point of hovering between life and death. The other elders were also frightened. Is this young man really so scary? Young master, please forgive us. Is there any misunderstanding between you and our family? I think we can solve it. The previous generation's patriarch also cupped his fists and said, they really didn't want to face the great dragon sword. Misunderstanding? You caught Xiaxingchen before. Give me an explanation. After hearing this, the two patriarchs' faces darkened. He was standing up for Xiajiao. He said, Xiajiao is a member of our family. Our family needs him now. Young master, I hope you can understand. Lin Xian said, understand. My relationship with Elder Xia is extraordinary. Elder Xia is like an elder to me. He has helped me countless times. Now, it's time for me to repay his kindness. Elder Xia wants to become a great emperor. Since he is also a member of the Xia family, you should express your gratitude. Help Elder Xia become a great emperor, and I can spare your lives. What? The two patriarchs were stunned. Lin Xian frowned. What? You don't want to? Don't we need Elder Xia to open the Geo land? As soon as he said this, the two patriarchs' faces changed drastically. Does he even know such a secret? The previous generation's patriarch sighed. Young master, you have been in the universe. You should be able to feel it. The suppression of the heavenly Tao and the shackles of the great Tao have fallen. At this time, no one can become a great emperor. If you can't, I will kill you. Lin Xian's voice was cold. The previous generation's patriarch was about to vomit blood. The black-haired patriarch next to him also said, we are not the only ones who want to open the Geo land. Let me tell you the truth. The people of the other world, heavenly Tao, have also come. Besides, we have already agreed to cooperate with them. Xiajiao can become a great emperor, but he must join the other world, heavenly Tao. Young master, are you willing? Hearing this, Xiajiao snorted coldly. I won't agree. Lin Xian didn't say anything, but he slashed out with his sword. The biting cold sword Qi slashed at the black-haired patriarch and sent him flying. The black-haired patriarch's body was split open. He spat out a mouthful of blood. How dare you sneak attack me? He roared crazily. Lin Xian snorted coldly. This is my answer. The other world, heavenly Tao and I are irreconcilable. If you join the other world, heavenly Tao, you will be my enemy. I will not show any mercy to my enemies. You are courting death. Do you really think we are afraid of you? The black-haired patriarch roared. The aura of the Geo gathered and healed his injuries. However, his injuries were recovering very slowly. He said to the previous generation's patriarch, let's attack together. He is too young and may not be able to exert the true power of the great dragon sword. The previous generation's patriarch nodded, and the two of them attacked like lightning. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You are courting death. He opened the sword world and gave the power inside to the great dragon sword soul. The great dragon's sword made a super powerful attack. Boom! The black-haired patriarch was sent flying again. His body was split in half. He was extremely miserable and seriously injured. The previous generation's patriarch also gasped. The other party is too strong. This sword strike seems to be the peak sword strike. The Xia family can exist, but you are no longer the master. After killing you, Elder Xia can become the new master. Lin Xian walked over with the dragon's sword in his hand. His expression was extremely cold. At this moment, he seemed to have turned into a peerless sword god. Chapter 6016. The horror of the great dragon sword was beyond the imagination of the Xia family. For a moment they were in despair. The two ancestors also roared. Damn it! How dare you look down on us? Attack! The two of them joined forces and rushed over quickly. At the same time, The previous clan leader roared and activated the clan's formation. Everyone attack! A great battle broke out in an instant. Lin Xian and the two great emperors fought together. Xiajiao also attacked the elders in the distance. Even the souls of the 9 serenities fought against the Xia family's formation. Rumbling sounds could be heard as a world-shaking battle swept out in all directions. One had to admit that the Xia family was very terrifying. They occupied the entire 16th level of hell. One could imagine how powerful they were. Therefore, this battle was very difficult. While they were fighting, they didn't know that a battle was also happening in the 9 serenities. The 9 serenities was a very mysterious place in the 9 heavens and 10 earths. However, there were originally some people living in the 9 serenities. For example, the Xia family was in the 9 serenities. The one on the 16th level of hell was just a branch of the Xia family. The Xia family in the 9 serenities was the real main family. At this moment, in a dark ancient city in the 9 serenities, there was a palace. Inside the palace sat 9 people. These 9 people were all wearing black robes and had ice-cold expressions on their faces. Their auras were very terrifying. They were much stronger than the people in hell. The 9 of them sat together. One of them said, "That woman, haven't you found her yet? Where did she go? Damn it! How dare she go against the Xia family? She will definitely die. How did she get in? The 9 serenities hasn't been opened yet. How did she get in? The 9 serenities sword must not fall into the hands of others. It must be controlled by the Xia family. Go and find her again. Send more people. Anyway, she can forget about getting out of the 9 serenities. This time, I must catch her and ask her how she got in." In the 9 serenities, the members of the Xia family were stunned because they had discovered an outsider. This outsider was the most recent one to come in, but it shouldn't be. If they wanted to open the 9th serenity, they needed to inform the Xia clan's branch outside. Only with the cooperation of the 9 underworld's body could it be opened. Now, they hadn't even made a move yet, but someone had already entered. This was truly inconceivable. Whoa! Suddenly, the black-robed leader's expression changed. He waved his hand, and a black bell appeared in his hand. At this moment, a violent sound rang out. The others also had grave expressions on their faces. Someone said, "The bell keeps ringing. It looks like the 9 nether sword has been born." Moreover, it was very likely that the 9 nether sword would recognize him as its master. Damn it, was it that woman? Damn it, move out quickly. The 9 of them stopped discussing and left the hall one after another. They split up and flew in 9 different directions. At the same time, they mobilized a group of experts to follow them. A few days later, a great battle broke out in a valley in the 9th serenity. A group of black-clothed men surrounded a white-clothed woman. This woman had an extremely beautiful appearance. Her clothes were whiter than snow, and the aura coming from her body was also incomparably cold. With a wave of her hand, countless ice was brought up, and it was enough to freeze the world. The surrounding black-clothed men's bodies were constantly bursting with frost. Some of them turned into ice sculptures, while others were pierced by ice cones. The speed of the others also slowed down. However, these black-clothed men were also extraordinary. The power on their bodies seemed to come from the 9th serenity hell. Every move was extremely cold. Found him. In the sky, a figure descended. Then, another figure descended. Great, 2 great emperor-level figures. The other black-clothed men sneered, "You're dead this time." The woman in snow-white clothes had a cold expression. She exerted the law of ice on her body to the extreme. Freeze! With a delicate shout, the entire sky was frozen. The 2 people from the 9 underworlds were great emperor level. One of them waved his fist, and it turned into 9 black holes. It seemed to be connected to the endless hell. From inside, cold disgust flew out. It swept across the ice that filled the sky. When the ice was touched, it shook violently. Then, the other person formed a seal with his palm and threw out a black coat, which pierced through the ice. Great! The other black-clothed men who were still alive were overjoyed when they saw this scene. The expression of the woman in snow-white clothes changed. In the next moment, she formed a seal with her palm, and a layer of ice surrounded her body. At the same time, the ice sword of the armed police fell from the sky, piercing through heaven and earth, and attacked the two great emperors. A great battle broke out in an instant. A pitch-black, long sword appeared in the woman's hand. With a slash of the sword, it seemed to split the sky. With a clang, one of the great emperors was knocked back. Damn it, that's the 9 Underworld sword. She actually caught the 9 Underworld sword. The eyes of the Xia family members turned red as they stared at the pitch-black long sword. The woman in snow-white clothes held the black, long sword in her hand, and the sword light soared into the sky. A terrifying aura swept across the world, and the surrounding mountains and earth trembled violently. The black-clothed men couldn't help but want to kneel down. The 9 Underworld sword. It was an extremely terrifying immortal sword in their 9 Underworlds realm. For countless years, the Xia family had been trying to get it, but they had never succeeded. They didn't expect that this woman would get it. The 9 Underworlds sword has always been mysterious. Even the Xia family couldn't find it. Now that we have found it, it can be said that the heavens are on our side. So what if she got it? Snatch it and kill her. The two of them attacked wildly. The two great monarchs also took out their extreme weapons and attacked wildly. There were also other black-clothed men who gathered in the distance, forming a formation. Mystic ice sword technique. The black long sword was covered with ice. This was an extremely terrifying mystic ice. Once frozen, one would die instantly. This sword slashed at the great emperor. Even the great emperor didn't dare to be careless. He waved the long saber in his hand with all his strength to block. However, at this moment, another great emperor rushed over. He attacked from behind with a mirror in his hand. Go to hell! There was a ferocious ghost head on the mirror, and it attacked the woman in white from behind. That's great. When the others saw this scene, they all laughed. The woman was dead for sure. The great emperor in front of her kept swinging his long saber, not giving the woman a chance to escape. At this critical moment, the woman in white slapped her left hand behind her. In the center of her palm, an endless amount of ice shone brightly. It was white ice, and it contained a mysterious power. Heart-devouring palm. This palm slapped at the great emperor behind her. With a clang, the woman in white was forced back. The great emperor's body also shook. He said, "It's useless. No matter how strong you are, you can't fight against two great emperors." Just as he finished speaking, his expression changed. That was because he felt that his internal organs were rotting in an instant. He suffered internal injuries and spat out a mouthful of blood. His body shook. "You can hurt me. There's a problem with your bloodline. Could it be that your body is—" He was too shocked. The woman in white also spat out a mouthful of blood, but soon she rushed over. Her left hand slapped out again. This time it wasn't a palm but a claw. The world seemed to darken. There was a terrifying black claw. It tore open the sky. It fell mercilessly. Chapter 6017. The black claw was extremely terrifying, and it hit the great emperor behind it. Blood splattered everywhere. 5 cracks appeared on his body, and even his bones were broken. He made a pitiful sound. When the other great emperor saw this, he didn't act rashly. Instead, he was shocked. "How is this possible? You're so young, but you're able to fight against 2 great emperors. You even have the upper hand. Who exactly are you?" The injured great emperor started to shiver, and his whole body turned blue. Evidently, he had been enveloped by ice. This caused him to be even more astonished. He was from the Xia family, and he lived in the 9 underworlds all year round. There was no cold aura that could scare him. However, his opponent's ice made him feel terrified and desperate. Under such circumstances, only the 9 underworlds body of the same level could be given to him. However, only the Xia family had the 9 underworlds body. His opponent definitely didn't have it. Wait, the War Saber Great Emperor's expression changed. No, other than the 9 underworlds body of the Xia family, there is another body. In the outside world, there was another type of physique that was said to be extremely terrifying. The 9 Yin divine body. You have the 9 Yin divine body. Moreover, you have the 9 Yin divine body of the Great Emperor level. The 2 Great Emperors of the Xia family were stunned. You're from the outside world. How did you come in? They roared crazily. This woman in snow-white clothes was none other than Xueqi. They didn't know what she had experienced, but she had come to the 9 underworlds. Moreover, her cultivation had reached the Great Emperor level. Xueqi snorted coldly. Your Xia family is really annoying. You've been chasing me for so long. Do you really think that I won't fight back? Today, it's time to teach you a lesson. Xueqi activated the 9 Yin divine body to the extreme. A mysterious fire flickered on her body. This was her 9 Yin divine fire. At this moment, the 9 Yin divine body resonated with the 9 underworlds. This caused the 9 underworlds sword to shake violently. Not good. She can actually control the 9 underworld sword. The 2 great emperors of the Xia family were shocked. This wasn't good news for them. The 9 underworld sword was a very mysterious sword in the 9 underworlds. The Xia family had wanted it before, but they couldn't get it. In fact, he couldn't even find it if he wanted to. Legend had it that the 9 nether sword possessed an extremely terrifying power. It was much stronger than ordinary extreme Dao weapons. There was also a legend that the 9 nether sword had other uses besides being powerful. However, they did not know whether those legends were true or not. However, they knew that they were in a lot of trouble right now. The 9 nether sword emitted a terrifying light. Then it slashed down. Retreat quickly. The 2 martial monarchs did not dare to take the attack head-on. The 9 underworlds' energy in their bodies continued to revolve as they waited for an opportunity to strike. However, after fighting for half a day, they discovered that they were actually unable to do anything to their opponents. This woman had already become a martial monarch, and her battle prowess was no weaker than theirs. On top of that, he had the 9 Yin divine body and the 9 nether sword. They seemed to be unable to do anything. Hurry up and retreat. Gather the Xia clan and send someone even stronger to kill her. The 2 martial monarchs flew into the distance. You want to leave? Xueqi snorted coldly and quickly chased after him. The pursuit began in an instant. This time, the chase lasted for 5 days. The 2 great emperors had gone mad. Get lost. They were prepared to risk their lives and attack to stop their opponents. Then they would look for an opportunity to escape using a secret technique. Xueqi's face turned cold when she sensed this aura. She said, 9 nether sword, let me see your true strength. She gave all the divine fire in her body to the black long sword. The 9 nether sword kept swaying. Then it became bigger. It transformed into a heaven-reaching divine sword that pierced forward. Boom! An earth-shattering sound rang out as a huge black hole was blasted out. There was an endless space inside, and storms were gathering. The 2 martial monarchs were stunned. What's going on? Has the 9 underworlds been pierced through? On the 16th level of hell, the battle in the Xia clan was also very terrifying. However, the Xia clan was in a miserable state. Lin Xian's strength was beyond their imagination. He fought against 2 martial monarchs by himself. He actually had the upper hand. After fighting for a few days, they discovered that he had too many treasures on him. A golden bracelet sent a martial monarch flying. Then he took out a long sword. The killing intent on it was too terrifying. Together with the great dragon sword soul, its power was extremely strong. Not long after, the black-haired martial monarch was split open again. The previous patriarch's arm was also grabbed by Lin Xian. Then he was torn into pieces. Damn it. His opponent was only the 10-crown king. Was he already so terrifying? If he wanted to become a martial monarch, how terrifying would he be? Could he kill them in an instant? The two martial monarchs went crazy. They had the absolute suppression of their realms. They had the true immortal qi. However, they couldn't defeat their opponent. They hadn't felt this sullen for tens of thousands of years. Everything was over. Lin Xian merged the great dragon sword and the immortal slaying sword. Then he opened the sword world. The aura on his body kept exploding. He wanted to kill a martial monarch. His gaze wandered between the previous patriarch and the black-haired martial monarch. The two martial monarchs were horrified. Damn it, they retreated frantically. However, where could they run to? Go to the 17th level of hell. There might be people from the other world, Heavenly King, and the Supreme Palace. Let them save us. The two martial monarchs of the Xia family wanted to escape. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He raised his sword high and was about to swing it down. However, at this moment there was a boom. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The countless palaces and pavilions of the Xia family were destroyed. Those who were weaker all turned into a bloody mist in an instant. Even the top elders coughed up mouthfuls of blood. They were all sprawled on the ground. Damn it! What happened? The two martial monarchs were also stunned. They looked up at the sky. The sky of the 16th level of hell seemed to have been pierced through. Endless black holes filled the space. Cracks were everywhere. Storms swept through the space. It was a scene of destruction. Even Lin Xian was stunned. His sword stopped. He didn't slash out. However, there was a light that pierced through everything. Was someone coming? Was it a friend or a foe? Could it be the other world, Heavenly King, and the Supreme Palace? What a terrifying power. I can feel the aura of a martial monarch. It's the other world, Heavenly King. Dao friend, save us quickly. The black-haired ancestor kept roaring. Two figures fell out of the huge black hole in the sky. The blood on their bodies fell. It pierced through the sky and earth. This was the blood of a martial monarch. It was really the blood of a martial monarch. It seemed that they were injured, because the blood of a martial monarch kept falling. The Xia family was in ruins. If not for their extreme weapons protecting them, they would have died. Other than the two martial monarchs, the rest of the Xia family would have fallen. Even so, their situation wasn't good. This unknown made even Xiaojio frown. The Nine Nether Soul was even more terrified. He said, I can feel an even more terrifying bloodline in the blood of a martial monarch. They were also from the Xia family. That was right. The black-haired ancestor and the previous clan leader trembled. Although this bloodline belonged to a martial monarch, it was stronger than them. They were already the strongest people in the 16th level of hell. Only the Nine Netherland had people stronger than them. Could it be that they came from the Nine Netherland? You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.